I think my friend might be Bridezilla. Should I skip the wedding?
I mean, do you hear like thunderous footsteps in the distance? Do you hear the cries of Dinosaurus?
Then you might need to run.
You might want to.
I was asked to be at the wedding of a friend of mine. We are close and hang out regularly, but she and I do not have a history of talking about deep or serious things. I see her more as a party type friend. By the way, this comes from Miss Foodie Pants, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. When things have happened in my life, a breakup, death of a parent, health issues, she wasn't really there for me. I was surprised I was considered. I thought that was going to be like, she always, had my back. It was like, no, she's kind of terrible.
Yeah, she was kind of one of those friends who's not there for you.
She just sucks.
Yeah.
I was surprised I was considered close enough to be in her wedding. As some of us know, you can meet someone for 2 weeks and then be invited to their wedding. Panda Riley.
Panda Riley.
Yeah.
Invited to wedding.
Shout out to the wedding we're going to in a month. But I was flattered and excited to be asked to the wedding nonetheless. The bride booked a wedding venue that cost $25,000 just to rent the estate.
Oh.
This does not include food, beverages, tables, chairs, etc., etc.
Wouldn't you just like want $25,000 for anything else besides just being at a place?
Hey, it's pretty. I'm going to be a princess in my castle.
No, but
and you tell me you're going to put a price tag on it?
But it's not yours though.
Oh, it's mine today.
If you bought the castle for $25K, I'd be like, phenomenal.
So you're
deal.
telling me I'm not a princess queen that deserves everything?
I would never tell you that on your wedding.
But you just did. Uninvited. Uninvited. Just kidding. You're invited. So her original budget was $30K all in. She figured she would subsidize the exorbitant rental costs by charging the out-of-town guests that were coming into the wedding to stay at the estate, which would sleep over 25 people.
You're subsidizing the cost of your wedding with your friends.
She is offering them a room, though.
What are you, the CIA? Like,
CIA?
Yeah.
Do they charge for?
They subsidize. I was watching some secret agent stuff last night and this morning, dude. Like secret agents, they're all over the place. You might actually be like walking into like the vacuum store and you buy a vacuum there. Just kidding. Those are all CIA operatives, but they did just sell you a vacuum.
Oops.
It's crazy. They're all over. They're out there.
They're trying to suck the truth out of me, but I won't let them. I won't let them. Not today, Satan.
Oh my God.
Back to the agent of evil that is this Bridezilla. She asked me if I was okay with paying $200 a night for the room, which I said yes to, as this is a going rate for the hotels in the area and it would be nice to just stay on the premises. I knew I was sharing my room with the maid of honor, but I was under the impression that the $200 was for both of us. Soon after accepting, my new boyfriend was also invited to attend with me. At this point, I asked if we could have our own room instead, if there was one still available. She tells me yes. The cost will just be $400 a night.
Your wedding is not that cool. Sorry, dude. You know what $400 can get a night can get you? Pretty much anywhere you want.
Dude, honestly, I feel like she was on the line or close to something. Because listen, literally last night, me, Riley, Sam, and Naima booked all of our stuff, right? It's not $0. Like, we're still spending money. So I do think it is kind of an interesting idea of like, oh, what if you have like a wedding venue that also has like rooms or something and you can kind of like configure it?
John, this is what I want.
Yes.
Okay.
Riley's
Big
wedding.
house in the woods.
Yes.
And it's huge. And then in the backyard, you do the wedding, and then everyone stays in the house like that weekend.
And you just say, hey, would you be down to spend $50 a night to help cover it instead of doing it's cheaper than a hotel. And see, this is where I'm like, this could have actually been a great idea.
Yeah.
But she fumbled the bag.
Why don't we just have everyone sleep in their cars? What are we doing?
Or, hear me out.
Why don't we go further?
Hear me out.
Tents.
Tents, yes! Harry Potter that. Remember when they went to the games and they went in the tents and there were houses in the tents?
Well, those were TARDIS tents.
Okay, get TARDIS tents.
They don't.
What tents?
TARDIS?
Oh.
Doctor Who? Bigger on the inside.
I see.
Yep.
Bigger on the inside.
Gotcha.
It's like a genie bottle. You know how like they got a whole mansion in there?
Do they? I thought the whole thing was that the genie bottle was cramped.
That's what they want you to think. They're actually
Mm.
comfortable.
Those genies, yeah, they've got it made. They're just,
Sometimes
they're
you
just
never
looking
know.
for sympathy, those genies.
Dude, how did we get here? This is amazing. Well, Opie says, I told her I was confused as it was $200 a night before. And that rate was for me to not only share a room, but to share a bed with this maid of honor. Oh, saucy. At this point, I told her that I simply could not afford to pay that much. It would have been $1,200 for 3 nights.
Crazy.
Yikes. She continued to push about how she wanted the entire wedding party to stay at the venue. Mind you, it's a destination wedding, and this was 8 months before the wedding, so she would have been easily able to fill my spot if needed. And there were plenty of rental options nearby, even walking distance from the estate. She doesn't care. She don't care.
She does not care.
I ended up writing her an incredibly uncomfortable email telling her all the trips she had planned, all based around visiting family, the holidays, and one wedding that my boyfriend is in 2 weeks before that wedding, and how I simply could not afford it and wished I could.
I can't afford to pay for your wedding. My bad.
Hey, could you just give me a rent for my wedding?
Come on.
Give it to me.
Come on. Subsidize me.
Yeah. This is your wedding, your responsibility. I'm sorry. As much as I do love the idea of like what Riley talked about, like renting a room in a cabin or something like cute and cool like that. This is your wedding.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
it's your responsibility.
You can't stomach $25K for the estate. Guess what? Oh my God, you don't have to. You don't have to do that.
Incorrect.
You could go to the beach. Let's go to the beach.
Are you telling me that me as a princess should have to abandon my castle and go on the beach
Yeah.
with the poors?
Yes.
With
And
the
if you
peasants, the
keep
poors.
talking like that, I'm gonna turn you into the Little Mermaid because I'm throwing you in the ocean.
But you forgot one thing. I got beat.
What do you call them? What's this? Legs. After that, I got. Okay, no, we can't sing that. We can't sing that. We can't sing that.
Back to the story.
Disney will drone strike the house if we sing that.
Yeah. Please, Mouse. She didn't respond to the email, and we agreed to meet in person to discuss it. When we went out before our meeting to talk about this, my boyfriend texted me with a surprise that he bought us tickets to a concert that I wanted to go to, but I had thought the tickets were too expensive. I was excited, and I shared this news with the group about how sweet she was. I sense a disturbance of the force. That night, I got a few extremely angry texts suggesting that we had the money to go to some stupid random concert, but we're giving her grief about paying $400 a night. She went on to say that my boyfriend should just pay for half to help with the cost. She said she's offended and went on to say, if anything, I shouldn't go to the wedding 2 weeks before hers to save the money, in which my boyfriend is a groomsman and it's the first time I get to visit his hometown, which is a big deal to us.
This is just all. Choose the path of peace. What do you focus on you and your boyfriend? Forget this wedding, dude.
Yeah.
This is turning into a nightmare.
Remember, at the mere beginning of the story, Opie was like, hey, we weren't that close. She hasn't been there for me. So I was kind of surprised to be the wedding. This is like I'm sorry, but this seems like a throwaway wedding for OP, right? And then the wedding before, obviously, is not it's like a bonus. It's a bonus.
It's a great point that you bring up. Yeah, she's never really been there for me throughout all of the hardest events of my life. But I guess I'm involved in her wedding. Guess what? You don't have to be, especially if it costs $12K and the time you have to take off from work.
Yeah.
Both of you, I assume.
Yeah.
If you're out there for like 4 or 5 days, or I think it was 3, wasn't it? So that could be a weekend.
Yeah, 3 days.
But regardless, it's like, no, focus on you and your boyfriend.
Focus on you, my bro. I'm aghast and honestly feel like she's a selfish bridezilla and is off her rocker. Every time we talked about this, she gave me 2 options. 1, pay. 2, be the worst friend ever. Great option.
Are we even friends? Do you know my middle name? Well, that's actually kind of a hard one because I don't know anyone's middle name here.
OP says, I decided to go to the wedding without my boyfriend and shared the room with the maid of honor. Whoa. As previously committed without fully understanding my commitment. Fast forward a few months, and I have helped with looking for dresses, have spent countless hours working on crafts for the wedding, bought her a $75 gift, which she requested that I get her before the wedding so she can use it at the wedding. God, there's so many demands here. and have overall, in my mind, been a model bridesmaid. I have also been trying to coordinate with the maid of honor about the shower and the bachelorette. This might just be my my terrible reading skills, but I didn't even realize fully that she was a bridesmaid.
Yeah, like she's like in the wedding. It's not like she was just like invited. Like she has to she has duties.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is like, you're not even tapped into my life. Why am I your bridesmaid?
Why are we doing this?
Maybe they just don't have a lot of friends.
She's like, hey, we ran out of money for the crew, the wedding crew. How do I get free labor?
Yep.
Hey, you're a groomsman. Hey, you're a bridesmaid. Could you go and set up hours of decorations?
Mhm.
Could you pay me $400 a night?
Yeah, right. Not to mention now it's like, now you're obligated to stay here and
Yeah.
pay me. It's
Not
not
only-
just a racket.
Not only am I not going to pay you, you're going to pay me.
Yeah, this is a racket.
Wow.
Get out of there.
This is crazy. Now, I do not like the maid of honor at all. She is legitimately a crazy person who is known for exaggerating, except it's to the point of being an outright liar. She is very well off and is offering to pay for people's things, like paying a trip to Hawaii for a group of people and flights to Asia, and this makes me uncomfortable. She's also 10 years older than everyone in our friend group and is constantly inappropriately hitting on guys in our group and is constantly stirring up drama and telling lies. We need to drop out of this wedding.
Yeah, it's like,
I'm sorry.
it's trust your gut, dude. Like,
Yes. Get your time and life back.
if this was like your best friend for 15 years and like you've known each other forever, you've always been there for her, she's always been there for you, like, that'd be one thing.
Yes.
This is not that case.
She don't care about you. She don't care about you.
Just go enjoy, go take a trip with your boyfie.
Do that. Come on. She gossips, talks crap about her friends all the time, and is always making trouble. And I've had experiences with her in the past, and I do not care to be her friend or associate with her all. I've been burned before. We have never fought, and nobody knows how I feel except my closest friends. But I was really not looking forward to having to work with her for wedding festivities. For months, I've been inquiring about the shower and the bachelorette. I offered to throw a shower at my house. I offered to cook for it. Cooking in the shower, that seems a little challenging.
Hey.
Yada. Hey.
Hey.
Anyways, I also offered other local suggestions. She consistently read my messages on Facebook and didn't respond, or would answer part of my message, but not the most important question. Their wedding is on Halloween, and she decided 2 weeks ago to do the bachelorette this past weekend on Saturday. All she tells me is that she is going to pay for 10 girls to fly to Vegas and stay in a hotel for one night.
Oh my, no.
I doubt that. I guarantee you there's going to be a hidden itemized bill
Ooh.
involved with this trip.
Like, so many things pop up when I hear this. One, why not just use that money towards your subsidization so you don't have to charge your guests? And two, this just seems like a recipe for disaster with this group. I
agree, both fronts. Front number one, I say she's not intending to pay for any of this.
Yeah.
They're going to get there and she's going to be like, oh, something's like going on with the card. Like, Sandy, can you like put the room charges like on your card? I promise I'll pay you back.
Not gonna
That would
happen.
be my guess. That's
Guys,
my theory.
We need more shots, but like my card won't work.
Oh.
Ooh.
And dude, shots and drinks in
In
Vegas where they're going to be going.
And you
People
got to
like-
gamble some.
Dude.
And you got to get
Oh,
some
no.
local talent. You got to get some dances.
Oh,
You gotta
no.
get some local talent.
We need some sausage packers to show up tonight.
Dude.
What?
Some sausage packers.
They got a lot of sausage.
They're packing the sausage.
in Vegas.
Yeah. They show up to your door disguised as a cop, but you're actually a sausage packer.
Sometimes a fireman.
And then you walk in. And
Boom!
then,
Field.
yeah.
I'm starting to sense what kind of sausage is being packed
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. A whole meat factory walks in your door.
Homegrown.
A whole homegrown salami shows up at your doorstep, slams on the table.
Do they do that?
Hey,
Look
you
it
can
up.
find out.
I
Look
need
it up.
a meat packing HR, please.
Oh, you don't want that.
Someone give me that number.
You don't want more info on that.
Christian.
Oh, God. So she says this Vegas trip is her gift to the bride and groom and that she's been planning on that for ages. She also says that we'll leave 8 a.m. on Saturday and we'll return at 8 a.m. from Vegas on Sunday, only to go straight to the bridal shower. So it's like 24 hours, including flights. This is insane. An exhausting weekend, to say the least. When she sends out the invite for the bachelorette, which is supposed to be free except for food, taxis, and shows, etc., she says donations are accepted and appreciated. This threw me and the other women attending because we were under the impression that it was free. I was asked via 4 different Facebook messages what kind of donation she was looking for, and expressed that many of us are tight on cash right now, and I think it would make everyone more comfortable to know what is expected of them in advance. $200, $400, $50? All messages read, no responses. I also pointed out that 4 people going to the bachelorette would be at a dinner party on Friday celebrating another friend's engagement. Dude, they're doing a Friday night dinner, hopping on a plane Saturday 8 a.m., 24 hours, returning back Sunday 8 a.m., and then somehow doing some other bridal shower, dinner, or some sort of event right after that.
And this girl's starting to sound like Sophia.
What?
She's all the time throwing parties, doing stuff, having
No,
a good
even
time.
this-
That's a crazy
This
analogy.
is way
Dude,
too...
I can't even let that fly.
This
That's
is
crazy.
This is beyond Sophia. That
Bro.
is...
Oh my God.
I'm leaving. Just hearing that,
Yeah.
I leave.
Yeah. I mean,
Mm.
if this is how the bridal shower and like bachelorette party is going to go, what is the wedding going to be like?
Yeah, I
Oh.
couldn't possibly stay after all of this nonsense. I
Also-
could not stay committed to the wedding. No way.
Also,
Talk to me.
the guy she's marrying,
What
that
Wh-
poor fella.
Haven't even thought about that guy.
is? Well, are they?
I mean, she's marrying someone.
They're spending like 25K. Maybe they're just like nefarious.
She's a lot to handle.
You gotta
dude.
have at least a little money if you're just gonna spend what $30,000 on your wedding.
It sounds like she looks like she has money, but she's asking her friends to pay $400 a night and a donation.
Yeah, but that's just what inconsiderate, like narcissistic people would do. Where it's like, why wouldn't my friends want to pay to
But
be
if
in my
she was-
wedding?
Absolutely. Like, if the guy was rich, then she would just be like, "Oh, it's covered. I can do whatever I want."
That's true.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm getting the sense of this is
I don't
the live like the Joneses, but has negative. Is
Well, dude,
lives rich off of debt.
You can make 6 figures a year, but if you spend $30K on a wedding, that's a third of your salary for the year. Gone. Before tax. Gone. That's still a lot of money.
All I'm saying is don't let your future wife listen to this, bro.
Just, I'm
Don't let her
throwing.
listen.
I'm going to throw.
Plug her ear holes.
Mm-mm. We're going to go under the sea.
Where it's free.
Go to the beach. Down where it's public. Oh, girl, you'll love it. Take it from me.
Nice. Let's go. That was great. But back to the story. At this point, I had no idea she had booked the Vegas flights, as she never said anything except that she'd want to book them for 8 a.m. and that they were on hold. She didn't communicate this with anybody, and I was constantly being asked for clarification and details because I'm in the wedding party and nobody else we know is. Finally, she messaged me back a very long and angry message about how she's offended we are concerned with partying on Friday, and if anybody has an issue with that, they don't have to go, or they can pay the change fee to go later.
I'm like seriously offended at the amount of buzzkill in this chat, okay? If anyone's concerned about partying Friday and then immediately doing something else and on Saturday morning and then something else, if just like lose my number.
I'm sorry, I'm concerned about being awake for 36 hours straight. My bad. That's on me for not knowing anything that you didn't tell me.
I didn't know you were so weak.
It was extremely rude, especially because I've been nothing but polite and nice about everything. So I responded very sweetly and said that I had no idea she had already booked them and that she had been so generous and we were all happy to leave at 8 a.m. that there is no problem at all and we can just ignore that suggestion to come in around lunchtime instead. After she had read all the messages, she texted me 30 minutes later to say that she moved the flight and 2 of the girls' flights now came in at 3:40 p.m. and everyone else would arrive in the morning. Easy. So simple. Not crazy at all. I was aghast. Why would she do that when I told her I had no idea they were booked and to just forget about it? I knew she was using this as an opportunity to poison me to the bride and say how ungrateful I am and how I am more concerned with partying, quote unquote, the night before. I asked her why she did this and expressed that she didn't need to. No response. No response.
I'm not responding either. I'm leaving. I'm not responding to any of these people for months and months and months. Like,
I don't know why OP hasn't pulled out at this point.
Just drop off the face of the earth right now.
Yeah.
Get out of there. Turn off your phone and go to an island of some kind. For $1,200, you could find an island.
Yep.
Literally. Take that money and go on a vacation with your boyfriend. Although I wonder, I don't know if this was said explicitly yet or not. Did she already give her the money for the hotel stay?
Ooh, yeah, I wonder.
Right. I feel like yes. I feel like yes. Maybe we'll get confirmation. But Opie says the next day she messaged me that everyone's changed their flights to later, so it's all fine. Okay. The Bachelorette weekend was by far the worst weekend of my life.
Who could have seen that coming?
I have spent weekends in hospitals that were more bearable.
Yeah, at least there's a little bit of downtime in the hospital weekend.
Yeah, right. You doesn't get to rest.
Yeah, it feels like you had to run around for probably 60 plus hours while also around the most insufferable people.
Oh. As soon as we all hugged and said our hellos at the airport, she started with the sentence, "So, OP, since you moved the flights for everyone," I was taken aback. I couldn't even say anything. She said it so loudly in front of the bride, so that I was blamed for this. I didn't say anything as we just started the trip, and I was honestly hoping it was an isolated comment, and I didn't want to start a fight with her in front of everyone. She's crazy. I'd rather wipe my butt with her and her drama.
That's probably not going to make it better from the sounds of things.
You're going to get a rash.
Sounds like sandpaper.
Okay, yeah, for real. Dude, buttholes are sensitive. I learned that recently.
They're made out of the same cells as your lips.
Wait, time out.
That's the same kind of skin cells as your lips.
Right.
Time out. You learned that recently that your butthole is sensitive.
Buttholes are sensitive. It's just it's a universal thing. It's a universal thing. It's newly learned knowledge.
What?
Bro, you've had one your whole life.
Yeah, but like I'm not like trying to figure out how sensitive it is back there, you know?
No, this is just a fact. You could just Google it.
I don't know. That sounds like John went through some experimental things.
Nah, dude, it's just a
Riley,
fact.
are you trying to shame John for his sensitive butt?
I'm just trying to get more knowledge.
Wow.
Are you trying to say your butt's not sensitive, Riley?
It might be. I don't know.
Dude, all of our booty holes are
Riley, do you not wipe?
I do wipe.
Then you know.
Yeah, but I don't know.
That's what. Let's not entertain this nonsense that you
All right, whatever.
are unfamiliar with your own butthole.
All right. Sorry.
You've wiped it your whole life almost.
Dakota, a gentleman's shake.
I call it like I see it, okay? Like, that's all I do.
Oh, God. Well, booty holes aside, Opie says, I attempted to clear things up with the bride on the way to the plane and explained how when I had asked, I had no idea they were booked and told her not to change them.
What?
Is
What are
chat
you
going off right
whispering
now?
over there?
Harriet Spaghetti.
Yeah, no.
no.
That's a thing. That is
Sorry.
a thing.
Oh, gotta love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's okay. Shout out to Harriet Spaghetti.
We found it.
Oh, baby.
Cursed.
Cursed. But she did anyways. She responded dismissively and said, yeah, I don't know anything about the flights. Okay. When we got to our suite, it's literally probably $10,000 to rent for the evening, if not much more. It had 2 bathrooms, a DJ booth, massage room, multiple lounges, a TV room with a bar and pool table, etc. The bride gets angry and says, "Oh, we should have come at 8 a.m.
Why are you doing all this for like one?
They literally have like an afternoon in there.
Yeah, it's like what?
When we could have used this $10,000 towards her castle.
Or like you could have used $10,000 to like buy jet skis.
Dude, no sense is being made here. Jet skis would make 10 times more sense than this.
Anything else?
I tried to explain my mix-up again in front of everyone, and nobody said anything. It was as if I was just speaking to myself. From this point on, anything I said, did, suggested, etc. was taken in the worst possible light. I was ignored, dismissed, and blamed for everything.
Okay, I leave. If this is happening,
Yeah.
after several hours, I leave.
We were barely friends to begin with. I think we need to just kind of like go our separate ways. Wish you the best,
Yep.
but I don't know. I feel like it's a chat. Let me know what you think. Please put in the comments below what you would do at that
I'm
point.
enjoying Vegas by myself, and I'm sleeping in the tunnels.
Yeah. Maybe we can poll it, leave or not. Leave or not,
Leave
chat.
or not.
What are we feeling?
Also, I feel obligated to say, don't go in the Vegas tunnels.
oh.
Don't go in there.
But what if I want to swim?
That's the
When
worst thing you can do in there.
They
Yeah,
give me
yeah,
the
when
flush
it's-
flush.
when
They
it-
put the water in,
that's,
go.
that's why they're so dangerous, because when they flood, everything gets washed out.
But
and
then I
everyone,
can prove to the world that I am indeed the new Michael.
I don't know
I'm
if
gonna
that's
give you
what
that
we're
one.
looking
I'm
for.
gonna give you that one.
I can do it.
Let's give it to him.
Believe in me.
All right, I'm
Believe in me.
outnumbered here. I'm outnumbered. I gotta accept it.
So I suggested we go out to eat before a show, only to be snapped at and told they were ordering room service. We ended up going to eat because everyone was hungry, and that was the most practical thing to do. I spent $20 in craps betting and lost it in one roll, but then was basically called out by the bride for being cheap and not wanting to play anymore and just watch. When only her and the maid of honor were playing, this wasn't a group activity, and we had just said that we would leave to play something else. I got us all on the VIP list for Omnia that everyone said they wanted to go to. I'm guessing that's a club of
It
some
is.
sort.
It's a nightclub.
Dakota.
I've never been there.
From his days of debauchery.
I just know what it
has
is.
many stories. Oh God.
Actually, really quick, my
yes.
Vegas story.
Mm.
I went there with my girlfriend at the time, and we fell asleep at 11:30, and woke up at 2, and went no. We were like, we're gonna take a real quick nap. Then we woke up in the middle of the night, and we were like, no, we messed it up.
Wow.
I didn't think it was 11:30. I think it was like 9.
That's
We were
tragic.
like, we're gonna take a quick nap.
all through the night.
Slept
right?
through the entire evening.
Yeah. But hey, you got sleep.
We did get some good sleep out of it.
Sleep's cool too. I've got a crazy Vegas story. Maybe a ending okay story time story for you, ladies and gentlemen. If you make it to the end, don't freaking leave. Which is also one of the harder places to get into, only for everyone to arrive late, upset, and not order drinks the entire time. In fact, I was talking to my friend who got us in, only to be told that we were leaving without any warning. I quickly trailed behind my group by about 30 seconds, only to overhear them talking badly about me and how I was going to stay back and leave the party, which is something I have never done and would never do. Maybe we change that today, OP.
Yeah, maybe just do that anyway. What is up with?
Breathe.
Don't know why we do these things, man.
Bring the comments.
Why are we hanging out with a bunch of people who don't like us?
Now, everywhere we walked, the 3 cronies, the bride, her mom, and maid of honor, were always talking badly about me. I would hear them say my name, look back at me, and whisper. I was called out for being on my phone in the taxi, coordinating the Omnia VIP list because I was distracted and not being at the party. I did not take my phone out once except for pics for the group and coordinating the guest list, which only took during the cab ride.
Yeah. Also, what are you, my math teacher? I'm on my phone too much in the taxi. Who are you?
Illegal. Lock her up. When we got ready for the evening, the maid of honor told us to get ready in one of the spare rooms. We brought our stuff in there to get ready with no assumption that we would sleep in a bed because there weren't enough beds for people. Everyone else would sleep on a couch. In this room with multiple lounge rooms and pool tables and they have a DJ booth but not enough beds.
You're telling me you spent 10 grand on a room and you forgot the most important part, the freaking beds.
Bro.
But
You
they're going to be
doofus.
partying. They don't need to
You
sleep.
absolute doofuses.
God. Also, conspiracy theory, I'm just throwing it out there right now, and this is going to be a plot twist that changes the story. Bride hooks up with someone
Yeah.
during this bachelorette
I
party.
love that theory.
Yep.
I love that.
I'm calling it.
Oh, boy.
I'm calling it. To be told later when I changed into my pajamas by the mother that I was not meant to sleep in there. I explained that I just left my stuff there to get ready and I knew I wasn't sleeping there. She went on and on about it as if I was trying to inappropriately take the room for the goddess that is the maid of honor. So by 2:45 a.m., everyone except for the 3 conies are starting to fade. Mind you, we all have flights back at either 8:30 or 9:30 a.m. We are like 6-7 hours away from our flights.
It's the worst trip I've ever heard in my life.
And we have to go straight to the bridal shower after we go home for 15 minutes of changing time. I have multiple sclerosis and have trouble walking and also have fatigue issues. I need to sleep. If I don't get sleep, I get sick and honestly can barely walk even with a brace. This is crucial, and everyone at this party knows that.
Yeah, and they're all probably talking bad about it behind your back.
Yeah, like, oh, she doesn't want to stay out with us.
Or directly to your face from the sound of it.
Yeah.
It's like they're not even, they're like, yeah, you with your stupid back. You stupid, and I hate you. And your back's messed up, and I hate you.
Sorry, I have an illness.
Yeah.
Sue me. Except I'll sue you back. Opie says, I am pushing myself to the absolute max by walking all day and night in Vegas, drinking, which I don't normally handle well, and staying up late. The party had no signs of stopping, and beds/couches aren't being assigned. When I ask about sleeping arrangements, I'm ignored. In fact, the only thing I do here is the bride being a complete brat and talking badly, very loudly, about anyone who wants to go to bed as lame and ruining the party because it's her bachelorette party and we're in Vegas, and on and on. Also, since I'm sleeping on the couch, as pretty much the mother yelled at me and told me to do so, I can't sleep anywhere quiet. All of the lounges with couches are in open areas except for the room where people up are partying. So now they're partying in the room, in the hotel.
Why did we go?
This is so, yeah.
Why did we go? I wouldn't go to this. I hate this kind of stuff.
Yeah, OP doesn't deserve. OP is so within her right to leave, and she was like, "Oh, I've never, bailed, and I never would."
Who cares?
This is for your health.
Never bailing is a non-existent stat line that no one on the face of the earth is tracking except for you, and it's not doing you any good. It's not going to get you a job. It's not going to get you a partner. It's not going to do anything except make you miserable right now.
You
Just
don't deserve it.
Be in touch with yourself, and if you're like, I hate this, I don't want to be here, don't be there.
You don't deserve it. Come on, too much. I can't sleep in a cold room without a pillow on a couch without any sheets or blankets, with music blasting, people playing pool, and being wasted and loud. I decided to attempt to go to sleep on the massage table with a sheet, only to fear that I would roll over and unalive myself by accident in the middle of the night. Yeah, because you're just flopping right on the ground if you do that.
I mean, how high up is the massage table?
Dude. I mean, dude, even just like 2 or 3 feet and you just fall back first with multiple sclerosis. That's a bad recipe.
The massage table is in Vegas, so I forgot there's like a pyrotechnic show that surrounds the massage table. You fall off and you just burst into flames.
It's part of the DJ booth. The pyrotechnics.
The pyrotechnic massage.
Oh, God. So I finally got up, and it's now 3:30 a.m., and everyone is still up and partying and has to be awake for their flight at 6 a.m. I'm assuming since nothing has slowed down, they aren't sleeping at all before their flight.
Yeah, babe, they're not.
They're not. I go back and ask if they're planning on staying up all night, and if so, if I could please have a bed.
Just Oliver Twist. Please, sir, may I have a bed, please?
And I have a pillow.
Just one little bed, just for me, just a little bit.
A pillowcase to cuddle up under,
perhaps.
But I was told by the maid of honor that they weren't going to bed, and she said yes, that I could have one.
Okay.
And the first and only thing that's gone right this entire trip.
Yeah, the first shred of human decency I've seen.
I slept for 3 hours until we had to get up for our flight. Fast forward to the shower, the bridal shower, where the mother finds out that I slept in a bed, which the maid of honor came into eventually for a nap, I assume, and was chastised once again.
By who? The mom?
The mom.
The mom's like, you slept?
Yeah. You slept.
You disgust me.
Listen, Dakota, it's disgusting enough that she slept. But the ultimate crime is she slept in the maid of honor's bed who said it was okay to sleep there. How dare you assume just because she says, hey, it's fine, you can go ahead and sleep there, that you can go ahead and sleep in there.
I don't know what I was thinking. 15 years jail.
Yeah.
25 years jail.
Bro. Try 3,000 years.
Yeah.
We need to make an example out of you. Okay.
We're gonna put you in a jail cell and then launch the jail cell into low Earth orbit, and then you're gonna stay there for 3,000 years.
Now you get it. Now you understand. Oh, the wrongs you've
And
done.
we'll look up in the night sky and we'll say, there she goes, there goes OP. She slept in that bed for 3
in
hours.
the distance. So this maid of honor, I have never felt so mistreated or disgusted. This maid of honor has completely poisoned the bride and mother against me. My friend, the bride, doesn't even care enough to ask my side or has any interest when I say something other than what she's been told about me. This maid of honor is the savior as she has taken us all here, and I'm the ungrateful witch who is making everything difficult and being selfish. I have no interest in being her friend anymore and honestly considered flying home Saturday night and thought about dropping out of the wedding completely. Yes.
No, don't cheer. She's not going to do it. Yes.
At least
Thank
she's
God,
thinking
please.
about thinking
Let's
of it.
think about it. But do it. Do it. For God's sakes.
Yeah, we got to
Do it. This is like going to a wedding for your enemies at this point.
Yeah.
Why would you do it?
They obviously hate me. Why do they want me to be their whipping boy? What is going on? So Reddit, the wedding is this Saturday, and I am meant to go on Friday to help set up for the wedding. I'll probably be asked to move tables since I'm so mobile. Sarcasm. Besides the bride, maid of honor, and mom, everyone else attending are my close friends. Many I never get to see because they live in other countries. I want to go because I don't want to miss out on being with them. I love those people. However, I'm worried I'll continue to be the scapegoat for everything that goes wrong, talked about badly, and my weekend will still be completely miserable. Is it worth it to go? Should I drop out now? If so, do I say why or perhaps say I'm not feeling well or something like that? I feel like I should go, keep my head down and not allow them to abuse me. And I know that and I know what to expect. When the wedding ends, I'll distance myself massively until the bride is out of my life. Thoughts?
You don't know the bride, though. You just said you don't know the bride. You don't really know the bride. You don't know the maid of honor either. I mean, were all of these friends that you claim to be like close to or like missing? Were they all there on the trip that you just took, the bachelorette trip? Were they not there? Was it someone else?
Different the bridesmaids, dude.
Like if any of those friends you're talking about are the ones that were there on that trip, don't go.
I think for clarity, I believe the friends she's referring to are just guests of the wedding that she has not seen or interacted through this whole journey so far.
Yeah, I would go with the context of all my friends I haven't seen in a bajillion years are there and I want to see them. I would go, and if you're asked to do anything, just be like, no, nope, can't do it. My back. My back. My back.
Yeah, there you go. Whoa, Riley.
Yeah, and then
This is
just
a family program.
Just enjoy your friends then, and be like, I don't know, they roped me into this. I don't want to do that. I don't even know. Well, you don't even know the bride. How are you a bridesmaid? You don't know the bride.
You were hired, and honestly, low key, even beyond being labor, even beyond being a source of cash to siphon out from you. I almost get the feeling like they were like, oh, we need like a punching bag. Like we need someone that we can gossip about and, make it fun for us because we suck. That's almost like, it almost feels planned.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, there's definitely been cases where that does happen. But I don't know. Is it worth it to spend $1,200? Like, I don't know. Like how much money are you spending on going to the wedding? Can we
Is
there
poll
any
wedding
other
or
way you can hang out with them after the wedding?
Yeah.
Group text your friends.
I'm honestly,
what are we doing?
for wedding or not, I'm nah, because I think that think about this. If you collapsed, would it have been worth it? And I'm like, no. Like, yes, you want to see your friends. It would have been great. But the problem is all of these women are going to be there. Even if you say no to everything they ask, I think they're going to make your life.
Yeah. I don't know. Just reach out to your friends, figure out how to hang out with them, not at the wedding, I guess.
Yeah.
Because this sounds like a terrible situation for you.
Yeah. Do it with everyone in town. Do a little brunch or something right after the wedding, and invite the friends who can make it.
Yeah.
I think that's the best thing. You get to see some of the friends, and you don't have to deal with it.
Got one nah.
Okay, so wait, the bride is her good friend I'm seeing in the comments? The
Vote, ladies and gentlemen. The
mother of the bride, she doesn't know. Either way, dude.
Yeah.
Too much.
Too much.
Too much.
It's too much.
And if the bride is her friend, why was she treating her like crap at her bachelorette weekend?
It's insane. It's absolutely insane. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the update. Here we go, boys and girls. Update, I am divorced and had a therapist around the time that I was going through that. We are being dropped in the middle of it here.
Okay.
But Dakota, I haven't spoken to her in over 2 years. I ended up scheduling a Skype session with her to get her take on how to handle this ridiculous situation.
Yeah.
Now we understand.
How do I divorce my friends?
Yes. How do we? Yes, good question. Can we divorce our friend at the wedding? That's what I want to know. Her overwhelming response, which I'm sure many of you would agree with, was, why the heck are you in this wedding and letting these people treat you this way? Fair.
Why?
Fair question. Besides the fact that all of my friends from all over would be at this wedding, the bride is an integral part of my social circle. Everyone I know knows her. She plans fun things all the time for our group of friends. So when the original debacle with the room cost came about, I thought about dropping out then, but honestly was fearful about how it would affect me socially. I see now that that was a huge mistake. If any of my quote-unquote friends were to take her side, or if I wasn't included in future things, that's a small price to pay for only having people in my life that treat me how I should be treated. Yeah.
Yowza. Is it getting hot in here? Because OP's cooking.
Oh, God. And it is getting hot.
OP's cooking up.
Literally.
Is it really?
Oh, yeah.
Is it? I can't feel it.
It's getting...
I'm a cold man.
Oh, God. He's a cold boy.
I'm a cold
He
man.
does cold stuff. Now, after talking to the therapist, we decided that I would, in fact, go, okay, because I wanted to see my friends and stick to my obligation, but I just wouldn't let them mistreat me or affect me. Everything they said, I would ignore if I could, smile and move on. If things got bad, I would just say I wasn't feeling great, so I needed to retreat to my room to rest. A good plan. Honestly, I don't know. Just quick gut take, Dakota. Do you think that's a good move, or would you still dip? What are you thinking?
It's just so hard to judge because it's like a complicated little political situation.
Yeah.
I would probably go and like just not invest, but I'm a psycho. So I can go places, and if the people are like, blah, 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 you suck, I don't like you, you do this, you do that, I go,
I do want to see you in a situation like that. I feel like it would be entertaining.
I had a situation where at some random party, these two know-it-alls thought they were grilling me on like philosophy or like whatever. Like they were like, oh look, this silly stupid little boy doesn't know what he's talking. And I just had them running around in circles, like trying to chase philosophical concepts that have no answer. Yeah. And they thought I was being the dumb one. And I'm like, you guys are just wasting all of your breath. And
come on.
I have you arguing about how a quarter at the bottom of a salt shaker is actually made out of salt because you can't prove it's not. They're like, that's the dumbest argument I've ever seen. I'm like, well, with this, yeah. And they're like, and I'm just like, yeah, this is great.
Moral of the story, play the annoying people. Don't let them play you.
Yeah, the moral of the story is do not care.
Don't care. Move on. So OP says, the wedding itself wasn't too terrible. I mentioned that I had MS previously, and all the stresses and the wedding and the shenanigans in Vegas the week before left me wiped out. I ended up arriving to the wedding the day before, hours later than I was originally supposed to. So I told the bride in advance that my MS was acting up and I really needed to take it easy and sleep in, which was true. And she was kind about that. Okay, finally. By doing that, I avoided almost all of the day before prep, which was a godsend because that's when Momzilla was bossing everyone around. The day of the wedding was pretty good, except for Momzilla being nervous and rude, but thankfully she wasn't only directing that at me, and lots of people were annoyed with her. The maid of honor was also on her best behavior because she was so nervous about her speech. The wedding night was a blast. Okay. I got to hang out with all of my friends like I wanted, which was awesome. We were told to clean up at the wedding at the end of it. Of course, we couldn't hire the cleanup crew. That's got to put our friends into janitor's outfits, of course, which none of us were expecting and was a pain. But all in all, I was glad I went. Now, the day after the wedding, a large group of us went to get brunch, and we decided to go back to the estate and use their amazing pools for the rest of the day. Since I arrived later in the day before the wedding and then had the wedding, I wasn't able to take full advantage of this amazing estate. I was really excited to do that. Well, when we returned to the estate, the bride tells me that everyone is going to a nearby hotel to use that pool instead. This made no sense to me. Why pay $25,000 for an estate and not even use it?
Boob job part 3 or part 2? Remember that story where all the friends paid the girl so she could get a boob job that she was cheating on the doctor with?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Is this a sequel?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Wait a minute. What
Wedding's
if-
gone wrong too. Rise of the silicone.
What if they'd never actually paid for that estate? They were like,
Remember, we have rich friend that paid, mind you, that paid $10,000 for a 1-bedroom hotel room.
Dude, that didn't even cross my mind. Why didn't I think that?
Bro, honestly,
all right, okay.
we are usually gods at calling it. This none of us saw coming.
For Kimberly.
Kimberly Fine says already called it. Okay, Kimberly Fine. Listen, you are on it. I can't lie, but I didn't see the comment.
Ice Swan boobies.
Yeah, it was so. She said she asked everyone to pitch in like $7 or $8 grand for this ice swan. The ice swan was the boob job.
The Ice Swan.
Yeah, and she tried to sneak off and get the operation during the bachelorette trip.
I'd be concerned. I'm
Field
concerned with
pictures.
all elements of that because regardless if my friend's like, I want an ice swan, I'm like, part of me just feels like that's racist. To have an ice swan, I feel like is a level of like nefarious, dastardly, like
Where's the race come into this?
it's just a vibe. I feel like if like you went to like a old like clan function in the 80s or something, they'd have an ice swan. Tell me I'm wrong though.
I think they would have something else made of ice.
Oh man.
What?
Like a burning cross? I
No,
don't
you
know.
can't make a burning cross out of
Maybe
ice.
their outfit out of ice.
They'd have the ice swan, and no one can tell me I'm wrong.
I think everyone could. Now, if they had the ice swan and they spray painted it black, maybe.
Okay, but it's inherently elitist, right? It's
Okay.
gotta be inherently classist, and classism and elitism go right in there together with racism.
I've got to say, Dakota, this is like the platinum like Emmy award winning free association thought that you've ever had. Like this is
Like I don't even think it's a free association. I think this is like a certainty.
a certainty.
I don't know. I've never seen an ice swan in the wild.
Ladies and gentlemen, please chime in on this in the I feel like the comments are going to be ablaze with this.
You
And
are. I'm wrong, Dakota, and editors need to cut that out. Uh-oh, do they like the ice swans over there in Sweden?
Oh my gosh.
You know, I heard some stuff about Sweden.
All right, let's get going.
Uh-oh.
Let's get going.
So we're going back to the story. And send people to a worse pool. Well, since I was leaving that day, my boyfriend and I took some time to pack up our room, clean up, and wait for some friends to come to the estate that were going home with us. This took about an hour and a half. We figured we'd go to the hotel pool and then drive home directly afterwards. Right before we were going to head out to the hotel, we realized that my cooler was missing from the room. Odd. So when we go to the main house, look around, no cooler. Then we were told by the groom's mother to check and see if it's by the pool. That's when we see that the party was in fact there, that over 25 people were hanging out by the pool for at least 2 hours. They were all pretty tipsy and comfortable. And that the bride's brother took my cooler from my room without asking me. I was so hurt. How come nobody told me about the change of plans? Why didn't someone text, call, or just walk to my room at the estate and let us know?
We know why, because these people aren't your friends, it feels like. It feels more and more with every sentence. People aren't your friends.
Yeah, this is, we shouldn't have gone. I'm sorry, we shouldn't have gone. I thought it was going to work out, but the vibes are not there. The bride saw us arrive at the pool and didn't move, and then very casually was like, oh, I didn't have my phone. Did you end up going to the hotel? Sorry. Oops. She didn't care at all. If she had made that mistake and was honestly embarrassed about it, I would have expected something like, oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. I forgot to tell you that we were just staying here. I don't have my phone with me. It just slipped my mind. I'm so sorry. Please join us. But no, that's not how it went. Also, now my cooler is the adult soda cooler, And if I want to leave this place with my cooler and the cold food I brought ASAP, now I'm the villain for taking the adult soda cooler, and a bunch of wasted guys are promising to return it to me. Oh, don't worry. We'll take it back. Oh, right after we're done.
I'm gonna give you.
Nope.
I'm gonna give your cooler
Nope.
back.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. Oh, yes, because I trust anybody at that wedding to take care of my things or have my best interest in mind. We take the cooler and left them with some bowls from the kitchen. When I said my goodbyes and was waiting in the car, I found out that the bride told my best friend how incredibly lame I am and how disappointed in me she is. But ladies and gentlemen, I will be forever disappointed, nay, completely ashamed of you. You will never redeem yourself in my eyes because of one reason, Dakota.
And what reason would that be?
Because they're not choosing to take advantage of the fact that we have over 2,000 episodes, 53 straight days of content on Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeart, or wherever you listen to your pods. Just search OK Storytime in your favorite pod app, and it's all going to be there, Dakota. I'll be ashamed.
It's true, and I'm astounded that there are people out here not ready to accept that
It's
truth.
disgusting. It's disgusting. But some brave people out there will do it.
There
And we love
are
those.
brave
We love those people.
folk,
Dude,
among
heroes.
us.
American heroes. We've got a little bit left of the story. Let's dive right in.
We all know how we feel.
We all know how we feel. Needless to say, I made the wrong decision months ago to stay in this wedding. I should have seen her selfish reaction to the money for the room as a much larger issue, not just a bridezilla moment. Throughout the wedding, I overheard her talk badly about her own brother, how the groom's family is odd and poor, and even spoke badly to me about my best friend. She is nowhere near the person I had thought she was, and I'm honestly still appalled by it all. Lesson learned, don't let anyone mistreat you at any time, no matter the circumstances. I wish I felt relief over this already, but I don't. I'm hoping that comes with time. You know what? Did OP, choose to, self-torture and go through this? Yes, but the lesson learned, I think, is invaluable.
Yeah, don't go to places with people who don't like you, explicitly don't like you.
Come on.
Very obviously, almost proudly don't like you.
Straight up. They're excited to say how terrible you are.
Straight up.
Straight up.
Yep.
But ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of this story. But we have
Wowzers.
one more tiny one.
My husband's family made my wedding so chaotic, I'm sick of them.
That's me when I'm around my husband's family.
Now, I see why some people have destination weddings to price out the effery. This past summer, I found and married my soulmate in my mid-40s. He's in his mid-50s. We've both been through so much and deserved this moment. How did I know that it was meant to be? Everything that went wrong that day ended up working out and came together beautifully. For instance, my shoe strap broke minutes before walking down the aisle. The shoes I wore there worked and were just as beautiful. My bouquet also didn't show up. By the way, this comes from AITA on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So there were some flowers just lying around the bridal suite that matched my colors, and my photographer's sister took the satin sash from my white robe, and that was my bouquet. Problem solving.
Yes, modern problems require modern solutions.
How I got my full refund for the missing bouquet is another post for another day. My mother-in-law is in her final stage of and couldn't make it. Oh, she passed almost 6 months later, but she got to watch it on Zoom. It was an outdoor wedding and rain was predicted, but the wind blew the storm in another direction. I stopped smoking last year, gained 40 pounds, and still fit my size 6 dress. It was a small yet elegant and very expensive wedding, but all in all, it was a lovely day. Now to the meat of the story. My original plan was to have one flower girl and a ring bearer. I had my one and only grandson in mind to be my ring bearer, but he lives 8 states away and was starting school around that time, so he couldn't make it. My brother-in-law's son was my other option, but he's 3, the same age as my grandson, and was preparing for open heart surgery?
Wow.
So, of course, he or his parents couldn't attend. Understood. Our flower girl is the daughter of a close female friend of my fiance, now husband, but I still needed a ring bearer. So I thought of my husband's stepbrother's 2-year-old son. He also has a 5-year-old sister, so I have a ring bearer finally, and now 2 flower girls. I excitedly told Bae this, and he gave me a look that said, "Babe, no." His stepbrother is a great guy, but his children are rambunctious and lack discipline because of their mother's neglect and lack of awareness due to her MH diagnosis. I thought, just how hard was it to walk down the aisle once carrying a ring box and a basket of rose petals and just throw them? Ladies, always listen to your husband. Okay, well.
Okay.
I don't know about that.
I guess I'll listen to my husband.
We mutually decided to also invite the mother's mother and her husband to help assist with her grandchildren. Problem solved, right? Wrong. The wedding suite / guest arrival. On one side of the room were the finger sandwiches, crudité, coffee, tea, and bottled water. The other room was where I was getting my hair and makeup done. The stepbrother and his family arrived. I had a staff member show him to the groom suite while his kids and the mother stayed and met the other mom and flower girl. I had to get up a few times. One, the stepbrother's kids started running around like freaking track stars from room to room.
Yeah, because they're like
2 and 5
children.
I got up to ask them to stop while their mother was just sitting there taking selfies. Almost as soon as I sat back down, I heard something shatter. I ran back in and the other mom looked at me and said that the ring bearer was playing with the tray of silverware. And you guessed it, his mom was still sitting around snapping selfies. Look, can you please watch your children? The other mom was annoyed but was trying not to say anything. 3, the kids started running around again. This time, the ring bearer had a dark colored beverage in his hand whilst running around. The other mom was quietly sitting with her daughter. My wedding dress, oh no, was openly hanging in the room where they were. So I grabbed the dress to hang it up where I was so I could keep my eyes on it.
Oh, thank God.
4, then the ring bearer spilled water all over the restroom floor. Now the staff had to get involved. One young man mopped up the water and the coordinator suggested that the kids go outside for a practice run with the baskets in the ring box. Great idea.
Yeah, just have them run around in circles.
Also, I feel like it's less like always listen to your husband and more like listen to your husband who knows his brother's kids and also knows his brother's wife. Now I can stay still and quietly finish my makeup and hair and take a few pre-ceremony photographs in peace. The ceremony has begun and I'm ready to walk down the aisle. I look and I can see my husband looking so handsome waiting for me. I looked over to my left towards the bar and the kid's grandmother was sitting there finishing a drink and she was intoxicated already. Because I was told that's where she's been since she arrived. Cocktail hour. My husband and I had taken some post-ceremony photographs before greeting our guests. I had gotten to the kid's grandmother, and after mentioning that her husband couldn't make it, she kept saying how good her grandchildren looked because they rarely dress up. Side note, I bought the kids' dress, suit, shoes, and a dress for their mother. I'll get to her dress later on in the post. The grandmother did reimburse me for the kids' shoes. Even my husband noticed how glazed her eyes were and was repeating herself. That's when I noticed that the kid's mom was having one drink after another. Now I see where she gets her drinking problem from.
It's how else are you supposed to take care of a dozen children?
Yeah. Reception.
Not like that, to be clear.
Not like that.
Not
I mean,
like that.
it's just like,
Not like this.
who's watching the kids? Reception. After the first dance and the welcoming speech, we all ate our meals. And yes, the kids were still running around. This was an outdoor event that was in a large wooded area where they could have gotten lost or worse. Now my husband is irritated. I'm not chasing these kids around on my wedding day, he said. I went to the table where the parents were sitting. Several empty bottles of Stella Artois littered the table in front of her plate. She usually drinks cheap stuff and was obviously taking full advantage of the top shelf stuff for free instead of watching her gremlins. And you can tell that dad was outdone, tired, and ready to leave. I asked them to try to get a grip on their kids because it was just getting embarrassing at this point. The DJ was set up indoors, so some of us went inside to dance. Most of the guests were still sitting around, eating, drinking, and getting acquainted. That was when I noticed that the kid's mother was dancing around on the dance floor with an open drink in her hand. I and a staff member had to tell her that if she spilled her drink on the dance floor and someone slipped and hurt themselves, my husband and I and the venue would be held liable.
That's murder on the dance floor.
But common sense isn't common with some people. Now time for the cake cutting. I looked around and saw them leaving. I ran to get them to come back for cake and his stepbrother said, nah, we're going to leave now. Let them go.
Yeah, just
They've been
let them leave.
Problems the whole time. Let them leave.
You can let them not be there. That's okay.
Dude, stop. Stop trying to get them to come back. Then his girl/baby mama, or whoever she is to him, had a bottle in one hand and several bags of Favors macaroons in the other, and said, we got these instead.
Got a bunch of macaroons.
We got the macaroons
We're the president
instead.
of France.
Okay, we don't need your cake. We got macaroons.
Emmanuel Macaroon.
She was supposed to have gotten one per person. How many did you take?
We very clearly stated a 1 per person macaroon limit.
Side note, the coordinator and staff set up the macaroons and the hand sanitizers in the lobby, but since the guests entered through the courtyard, most of them didn't know or see the setup, so I guess she thought it was a free-for-all.
Okay.
The only issue I had with the stepbrother, as nice of a guy as he is, was his acting powerless over the behavior of his family. When I invited them, his only concern was they did not have clothing suitable for a wedding. I told him that it was an outdoor wedding in mid-August and to come as casual as he liked. He shows up in like a tracksuit. Like, I came as casual as I liked.
I showed up in my LeBron James jersey and a pair of jorts.
You said I could come casual.
I don't even think this is casual. I'm dressed up.
I bought the kids' attire, and I did buy a dress for their mother because, 1, I was worried about what she was going to show up looking like, and 2, for optics because she was likely going to walk down the aisle with her children. I bought her one of those cocktail dresses, the one in which you can adjust the strap 20 different ways, halter, one shoulder, crossback, etc. Of all the ways she could have worn that dress, she chose the bandeau style. There are a lot of different ways that you can listen to this podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Already?
You can find full episodes with stories just like this if you go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio. Just search up OK Storytime.
Let them leave.
Let them leave.
Let them leave.
Let them leave.
Let them leave. Let them leave.
Let them leave. And when your partner or just anyone in your life says, hey, these family members kind of stinky. They're going to cause problems. Maybe we don't want them actively participating in the wedding.
Listen to your husband.
Listen to your husband, ladies.
I did not like the way that was written.
Yeah, no, I know that.
Listen to your husband, ladies.
I didn't like that either because that wasn't the.
All you ladies out there not listening to your men, you gotta listen to them
The
because
point
of this
of it is
one
not
thing
that he's
happened.
a man or your husband. And the point of it is that he knows his brother.
Yeah, would you just listen to people who have
Experience.
knowledge about things?
Yeah.
Like, listen to the doctor telling you things.
She is a double D at best, and her nipples were nippling.
Ooh.
I would have bought her a pair of pasties if I'd known she needed them, but that was the responsibility of her man and or her mama to make sure she was decent.
How about it was not either of those people? It was her.
It was her.
It was her, the grown woman who takes
Yeah.
care of herself.
I feel like OP is really on the listen to your man
Come
train.
on, dude. What are we doing?
You should see those thirst traps she posted on Instagram on a daily basis and wonder why her baby daddy has not or will not marry her.
Okay.
You made a lot of judgments, OP. Let's
All right.
reel them back in.
Let's step down from the bench.
Let's reel back in these
Your Honor.
judgments.
Okay.
Her mother had one job to do, make sure her grandchildren were under control, and she couldn't do that. Watching how well-behaved the other flower girl was truly a breath of fresh air. She and her new baby brother will forever hold a special place in her heart. And that is the end of that story. I made a list of people I won't invite to my wedding because they didn't invite me to theirs. A little eye for an eye action.
A little Hammurabi's code.
I put wood in the title because it hasn't happened or been an issue yet because I have been moving in the shadows and only a few people know. Oh, he's like, so I haven't had my wedding yet nor been engaged, but I have a little death note list of all the people that won't be invited.
I have been moving within the shadows.
So it's a perfect time to see if this is just a me thing. Let's get started, shall we? By the way, this comes from Annie Advance 8215. And if you want to submit your story, go to OK Storytime subreddit. I am a 22-year-old female who always had a rather large and confusing family. My fiance and father of my child is 26 and he is socially awkward and has an extremely small family that has very few events in the year. Now for the juice. I have this giant family with multiple newlyweds. I still have never been invited to a wedding. Not one time from the time I was 18 until about 20. There have been a few, and I really didn't think about these too much. I was hurt, but figured it was due to not being old enough to drink. However, when I turned 21, I still was not invited to weddings. I turned to self-reflection and thought I was the problem.
Dang, is it me? Am I unwedding invitable? What?
I couldn't pin it to anything, as the last time I was at a family party that wasn't the yearly reunion, I was maybe 14 years old. We live 3 hours away from the rest of my family. I live with my parents and they get invited to these events, and I am active on Facebook with them. The straw that broke the camel's back was my cousin Rob getting married. When I was little, Rob was one of my closest cousins. As though we have a bit of an age gap, he was sweet and kind to me. And he saved me from drowning at the beach, so he was like my hero, and I always loved bringing it up. Rob was getting married to Alexa, and my parents got an invite specifically stating both of their names without a +1 or and children or anything, meaning I wasn't invited. I was heartbroken. I felt so strange about it and had a what did I do attitude. The aftermath of the wedding was messy and drama, and I gained a clearer picture of what actually happened. Remember, I said my family was confusing? That's because Rob is the son to my mother's oldest cousin and my father's youngest aunt? Don't worry, they aren't related, and they met naturally about a decade after the wedding. Due to this, I am the only cousin he has on both sides of the family, and this means that both sides of my family were invited. Turns out I was literally the only cousin that wasn't invited on both my mom and dad's side. So you had 2 chances to be invited to this wedding. You were on both sides. You're related to both sides, and they didn't invite you?
Does OP have the thing where it's like people forget you exist as soon as you stop looking at it?
That's what I had that exact same thought.
Yeah.
Like, no joke, exact same thought.
Just this is as soon as you're
just
out
don't
of the
remember
field
you.
of vision, they're like, that person doesn't exist anymore. Oh, it's you. I haven't seen you in so long. Oh my God. And they're
Like
gone. And they're gone forever.
Like the silence.
Oh, and it's back. And it's gone.
Major WTF. And what's even stranger is that no one except my grandmother's sister, Rob's grandmother, and my Aunt Mary, and his parents knew that Rob and Alexa were purposely leaving out family, saying it was their day. Rob also left out most of his grandfather, Bob, Aunt Mary's husband, family, inviting maybe 2 out of all of them. My Aunt Mary and my Uncle Bobby were offering to pay for extra spots like me and a few of Uncle Bob's relatives. Even Rob's mother and father weighed in on cutting off a few people while the wedding was literally huge. Both sides of my family are easily 75 plus aside, and that's not even Alexa's family. Rob insisted that it's what they wanted, and no one, even if they were paying for things, has a say. And that's honestly fair. It's their day, and I really just wanted them to be happy, so I didn't tell anyone how I felt. Sounds like it's not you, though. It sounds like it's them.
Yeah, it sounds like it's clearly not a you thing.
Until my Aunt Mary spilled all the beans to my grandmother. She admitted to knowing and Rob refusing her offer, and that she just held her tongue after that. She told my grandmother that she suspected that it really was just Rob pleasing his wife and her being the actual bridezilla. They rejected a few +1s due to the +1s being new significant others. People ended up not going because of the fact that they couldn't bring their dates.
Like, who does that?
Yeah. Like,
Oh, your significant other is too new.
they can't come.
We need a
Sorry.
significant other with a little more patina on it, a little more,
What's the resume
a
like?
little rougher around the edges.
When my grandmother brought up me, the only person on both sides, my aunt couldn't put her finger on anything except the fact that Alexa joined my father's side of the family mean girl clique, which included very salty and bratty cousin that was the sister of Rob. All of my family can verify the adjectives used to describe her, and this group repeatedly has openly ignored me and been rude since I could remember. It hit me that they really have had time to discuss me, as the last occasions I have been to was a funeral and the yearly family reunions. I don't know what the deal is, but after this, I went on a factory reset and made a rule. Don't invite me to your wedding. I ain't inviting you to mine.
That's a fair rule.
That's a fair rule.
That's a fair rule. It's eye for an eye. Or no wedding for a no wedding.
After his wedding, more weddings happened, and same thing, no invite for me, but my parents and grandparents are invited. What is going on? I'm so confused.
Yeah, I am also okay. There's like a lot of different like cousin, aunt, grandparent, parent. Yes, no, maybe, so.
No invites for OP?
Everyone in the Western Hemisphere
Is invited
going to this
except for
wedding
OP.
except for OP.
So every time I make a mental note to not invite them. And Rob wasn't the only close cousin, mind you, just one with the drama to really make me realize that none of it is me, nor is it worth worrying over. Just keeping track of all the no invites. I told my grandmother that told me the tea, and she was all here for it. She actually refused to go to a few of the recent weddings because they didn't invite me. My other grandmother on my dad's side, Katie, is very iffy. Mind you, this is both of my family sides. Just my mom's side has been having a lot more. Grandma Katie really thinks that it's an a-hole thing to do to actually sit there and invite parents or siblings of a person and not them just because they didn't invite me. I told her that it's not fair because of all their excuses could easily be mine and that my wedding was not going to be a people-pleasing event. Put your foot down.
Exactly.
Put your foot down.
My wedding is not an event to please you.
No, my wedding's about me. What really sold it for me was my baby shower. My mother invited everyone. When I say everyone, I mean everyone. Every state lived in, all members of the family, even girlfriends and fiancés were invited. Probably over 200 invites, and maybe 30 people actually came. Many didn't reply and didn't show up. Out of my dad's entire family, my grandmother, aunt, cousin, and my grandmother's neighbor showed up. Grandma Katie was shocked when she realized that out of her 7 sisters and multiple cousins and nieces, only 4 people showed up. After this, she still thinks I'd be mean, but she understands that I really am the odd one out, but she doesn't want me to stoop to their level. Side note, the mean girl circle is real, and I found out even more recently they excluded me from a baby shower, even though I invited all of them and none of them showed up. I don't think I am. I'm just not having people who don't think of me or invite me to their wedding at mine. I expressed this to my man, and he said, they're just jealous of you, your looks and personality, and they think you'll outshine them by just being there. F them. I can marry you, however. Just be happy with your decision. He's on the spectrum, so this is really sweet. Just blunt. This
Nice.
might be petty, I know that much, but am I actually being an a-hole? And you know what's never an a-hole move? Listening to full episodes with stories like this. Just go to OK Storytime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. But there is a little bit left of the story. Do you have any final thoughts?
Yeah, it's your husband's right. Just make sure that you want to marry your husband.
Yeah.
It's not fair, and it's like I don't know if there's any way to really undo this other than to just remove yourself from the equation, make yourself unavailable to be excluded by just excluding yourself in a way.
Cut these
like
people out.
these people want nothing to do with you, and that's clear. And so just fine, whatever. Don't have anything to do with them.
But there is a little bit left to this story. Side note, it's petty, I know, but I have 2 family members who got engaged recently to different people. I don't know how to make it not sound like they're marrying each other. And I'm patiently waiting to cross their name off my list or write a loving and heartfelt caption about how they were the first people to invite me on their separate weddings. I was like, I've either got a really nice response or like, oh, I'm gonna tear them down. You know it's bad when my father, the most drama-free person, says, hey, your cousin just got engaged. I wonder if you're invited. Comments. Fun Yellow 6576 says, it's your wedding. Invite people you want there. It's obvious that your family didn't want you there, and to that reason, it doesn't matter. April Artsy says, not the a-hole. That was a lot to read, though. But really, if your family members are childish enough to not let you attend their weddings because of some weird crossover relations, that's on them. I'm all behind the idea. It's your big day. Only invite who you want. But these types of back and forth reasonings only complicate things, and people end up getting their feelings. In the end, if you feel that you wouldn't be happy with them at your wedding, don't invite them. Plain and simple.
Boom. Look at that.
And that is the end of that story. But
Perfect
man,
advice.
oh man, yeah. Your family kind of sucks.
Don't want them there? Have them
Don't
there.
have them there.
You don't want them there?
I can't believe none of them invited you. Like, for you to not be invited to any of these parties is wild.
She's just like really hot, smart, successful one, and all of the other ones are just jealous.
Man, but that is the end of that story.
My friend made me feel left out for years, so I won't include her at my wedding.
I mean, why would you? Is she your friend anymore?
Yeah, sounds like the right move that she's left out. I've been considering writing this on Reddit for a while now, but I always thought I was being dramatic about this situation. Now, here I am, pissed off, confused, and in some serious denial. By the way, this comes from user naturalaltruistic782, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, here is some backstory. Me, female 23, and Alex, female 23, have been best friends since junior year of high school. Alex got me through some hard times at the the beginning of our friendship, and she was also there to see the beginning of me and my now fiance, male 22, our relationship. We went through a lot, especially through the vid. We graduated in 2020, so our senior year was kind of weird, but we still spent a lot of time together. We worked the same job for a couple years, along with her older sister, AITA? I'm going to say AITA, female 25. We were very close, so when she asked me to go on a birthday trip with her, AITA, and their boyfriends, I gladly said yes. I ended up going on this trip without my then boyfriend because he had a job where he couldn't get off enough time. I still went though because I wanted to spend time with her and celebrate her birthday after 2 years of not being able to. All that sounds very reasonable to me. This birthday trip took place in January 2022 in Seattle, Washington. Before going, I knew I would be the only single person, so I had already prepped myself for that. I knew I wouldn't be able to hang out with her the whole time, and I didn't want to be weird and third wheel every second. We had
So she was the only single person, but she's not single. She's just without her boyfriend.
Exactly. Yes. We had a rough start getting to Seattle because our first flight from San Antonio to Houston got canceled. The flight was supposed to be in the morning, but we found out the night before that it was canceled. We quickly gathered information and hauled butt in a car to Houston at midnight. By the time we got to the airport hotel, it was about 4 a.m, and our flight was supposed to take off at 6 or 7, so we barely got any sleep. Since I was in a completely different airport than I usually flew out of, I was totally lost when we arrived to check our bags. In the huge craze to get to our gate, I got left behind. Oh no, you got home alone? No.
Wait, how did you get left behind? Like you all showed up to the airport and you got lost and disconnected from your friends and your friends just took off without you?
Yeah, where
They
are
didn't
your
call
friends?
you?
Yeah.
You can't use Google Maps?
Where are your friends at?
You can't ask one of the guys that like drives the, like those little cars in the airport?
This was the first glimpse of how this trip would be. We had only been together for about 10 hours and I had already been left behind. We ended up back together in the security checkpoint line, but I was a dozen people behind them and had to make them wait outside of security for me. Okay, so you didn't really get left behind.
Okay, they just went to security a little bit ahead of you.
Yeah.
That's all right. All
Yeah.
right. Let's not be dramatic here.
Very, very brief.
Yeah.
Home Alone situation here. I won't go into too much detail, but throughout the entire trip, I was left behind quite a few times because I was the only single person there.
And everyone knows couples hate single people.
It's true. They despise
They
us.
despise them.
I just
They
don't
look
like being
down upon them.
Yes, they're
You
up here,
sad
not down there.
Mhm.
I like that's one of my new favorites now. We were staying in an Airbnb that only had 2 bedrooms and a couch that was a pullout.
Who's gonna take the couch?
Yeah. I think we all know who's sleeping on the pullout couch.
Yeah.
Obviously, I slept on the pullout couch while the couples each got a
Pulled
room.
out. I mean, yeah, got a room.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
It's funny that the only person who doesn't need to do that right now is sleeping on the pull-out couch. I was totally fine with this, though. I understand that stuff like this was going to happen. What I didn't expect was that every time we came back at the end of the day from exploring the city, all 4 of them would go to their rooms, shut the door, and leave me in the common area by myself every night.
I feel like OP is on the pull-out couch and just hearing
Yeah, just hearing a lot of applause.
a lot of
They're like,
applause.
they must be really liking what they're watching in there. OP, you didn't.
Can I watch?
Did you really not? Did you really not expect some degree of that though?
Yeah.
I mean, it is kind of whack that it's like there's no like group communal time when they get back. Now there's a little bit of a hang at least before they go.
I think it's also rough because OP doesn't have their own room, and I imagine the walls are thin, and the living room is echoing.
Could be.
And
Could
so
be a bit of an echo in
you're
there.
hearing like bongos going on both sides.
Yeah,
You know.
just a little bongo recital. I had to sit there and listen to them laughing and giggling together, which
Oh man.
another time, everyone wanted to ride the Ferris wheel, but each cart only carried 4 people, and there were 5 of us, so I literally sat out while they rode it together.
No.
That's so
dude.
sad.
That's so sad.
I mean, maybe you could have just, rode in one by, with 3 strangers and made new friends.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
then you could have gone back to their hotel while they leave you alone in the pull-out couch. About 2 days before I was supposed to leave, I reached out to Alex through text late one night. I wanted to tell her how I was feeling without making a big deal about it in front of her boyfriend or anyone else. In the message, I told her I was sad about being left out. I was there to celebrate with her, and I wanted to be a little more involved with everyone because the trip had been really sad for me. I tried not to sound aggressive. I just wanted to be honest with her, as I thought I could be because she was my best friend. She had already fallen asleep by the time I sent the message. It was probably about 2 a.m, so I just went to bed. Since I was sleeping in the common area, literally 5 feet away from the kitchen, I was awake when she got up the next morning and started making coffee. I didn't want to be awkward or too forward about the text, so I waited for her to say something. She walked right past me, went back to her room, and shut the door.
Oh, she doesn't want anything to do with you.
Dude, yeah, that's man, that's so unfortunate. My stomach dropped. I waited for her to come back out alone and asked if she had anything to say about my message. Without looking at me, she said she didn't want to talk about it.
Oh.
That's so unreasonable.
Also, like,
Why?
have a little heart. Have a little, I mean, this is your friend.
So I didn't say anything, and I just started getting ready for the day. As I was putting on my makeup, I started festering with anger.
I mean, OP did the right thing by communicating early, but now I think if like it's I feel like they've shown you that you're not wanted both before you brought it up and after you brought it up. So I think honestly, maybe cut your losses and leave, or go explore things on your own.
I feel like maybe just try to, leaving would be, I feel like it would amplify everything that's happening right now, which, I mean, it not right or wrong. It's just, it is what it would do. But then, like, just trying to enjoy your trip, like, on your own, being like, well, and if they get mad, like, well, you just went off and did your own thing. I'm like, because I was being just left behind anyway. So I was just trying to get out of your way, I guess. Mm-hmm. So festering with anger, I ended up throwing a fit. Not necessarily saying anything directly about what had happened, but my attitude definitely changed. I was louder, being extra, and honestly, I'll admit, I was being a bit of a witch. We finally finished our trip and headed home on a flight to Houston and then drove back because of the whole situation that happened at the beginning of the trip. We didn't get home until 1 or 2 in the morning, but I told my boyfriend he had to come pick me up because if I had to sleep with them one more night, I might rip all my hair out. Which, it can boil over.
Yeah. Not the best reaction, OP. I understand why you're having this, but
in a way, it almost sort of reaffirms that you were / are or whatever you are, whatever your status is right now with this person, best friends. Because only when you're like best friends with someone can they bother you to this degree. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
and also like only with those best friends can you be an open and active witch.
Yes. Yeah. And it's just like, fine. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, not condoning to do that, just saying. Yes. He understood and was there as soon as we arrived. I didn't say a single word to anyone when I left. I didn't talk to Alex for 6 months after that trip.
Oh, 6 months.
6 months, half a year.
Did Alex talk to OP?
I doubt it. But I missed her a lot. And I was the one who reached out asking if she would meet me at my favorite coffee shop.
Wait. So you didn't talk to her for 6 months and she didn't reach out at all?
Yeah.
That's not your friend, bro.
Not anymore.
That is not your friend. That was not your friend.
Yeah, 6 months. That's a long time.
It's a long
for this
time
to just boil underneath the surface.
Yeah.
So after I sent that message, I received what I now see as a half-bootied apology. But back then, I was okay with it because I missed her. Oh. Fast forward to the end of the year, she was planning another birthday trip, this time to Nashville. She invited me, but I told her no. I've only seen Alex once since 2023, and it was by accident when I ran into her at the same coffee shop. I still have the birthday gift from 2023 that I was supposed to give her. It's a journal that I now write in about her.
Is that your burn book? I'm feeling a little. There's a little petty vibes going on from OP.
100%.
I don't think you. I think obviously you've been hurt, but I also don't think you are 100% not the a-hole.
We're not. Yeah, clearly there was a-holery on both sides.
Yeah.
Although it started with your friend, then you leaned into it and kind of dished it back.
Yeah.
So,
which again, understandable. Is it good? No.
I've called and texted her casually, but I rarely received a response. I invited her places, asked her to let me know when she would be in town since she was going to college in Corpus, but every time I tried to be involved with her, I ended up disappointed for 2 whole years. Oh, I see. Okay, for 2 years, I would just be disappointed. I thought that was saying, and then 2 years went by. But anyway, Then there I was on February 5th, 2025, 3 weeks away from getting married, when I received a text from Alex. She told me she was thinking of me and hoped I was having fun wedding planning. I didn't respond because I was exhausted from the back and forth with her over the past couple of years. We had a lot more downs than I even plan on mentioning because honestly, it might just bite me in the booty. A week later, she messaged me again asking for my wedding RSVP information because she never received my save the date or an invitation. Here's some tea she doesn't know. I never sent her an invitation. We had a weird argument in November of 2024, and I guess that's when I finally decided for myself that I was done with her. I ended up blocking her on everything except text and basically ghosted her. So here's my question. Did she not notice that I blocked her? This girl was obsessed with her sleuthing Instagram abilities. She had to have noticed. To me, the text about not receiving the invitation was her pulling at straws to stay in my life and force me to explain myself to her. She had been playing with me for years, and it took me so long to see it because I thought she could never do that to me. So I finally whipped out the text message I had been saving in my notes and sent it to her. It basically summed up how I had felt for the past couple of years and told her not to message me. I feel like a crime has been committed against us for you not putting that text in your post. I want to know exactly what you sent.
Yeah.
Anyways, OP continues, but that wasn't clear enough for her. She took about an hour to respond, and her text was full of lies and gaslighting. And by the way, we are full of episodes with stories just like this, and you can find them on iHeartRadio or Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Wherever you listen to podcasts, search OK Storytime, and you can find what is now 51 consecutive days worth of stories. So
It's a lot of days.
There's a lot to listen to. We have a little bit more story here. Do we have any finishing thoughts here?
I mean, I think it seems like OP was wrong, but it also seems like OP is a little petty, and I just don't know if she's going about it in the least a-holy way possible, which is just going to hurt her more. It just feels like she's holding on to a lot. And I'm like, self-care over pettiness.
Yeah, if I could revise history here, what I would have liked to see OP do would have been like, after the trip, you don't wait 6 months to talk to your friend, and you just go, hey, like, I feel like we definitely did not have a great time together on that trip, right? Outline what you felt was wrong.
And maybe even apologize. OP even admitted, like, hey, I was acting a little witchy. Maybe even apologize for some of the things you did. And if you don't get an apology back, maybe that's an indicator of where the friendship is.
And all of this has been persisting for years and years now, years and years of negativity and just bleh. And you could have probably cut this out of your life years ago. Yeah. Because depending on how she responds, if she responds to you like, yeah, because I don't really,
like you,
blah, blah. If she
then you're like, all right, thank God I get to cut this person out of my life. Be done.
Wash your hands of that. So let's finish this story. All the texting took place while I was at work. I have a big mouth, and couldn't help but tell my coworker what was going on, and basically crashed out on the clock. I was
I'm hoping you're telling on yourself a little bit.
Yeah, this is
at least you're being honest.
Certainly telling, that's for sure. I was genuinely convinced about everything that she said in the text message. It took me all day to come to my senses and realize that these are just tactics that she's been using on me for years. So have I been crazy and over-exaggerating the past couple years, or am I in the right to not have her at my wedding? So to put a little bow on that, I wouldn't say you're an a-hole for not having her in your wedding at this point. It's been years of kind of an estranged, strained friendship.
Agreed.
I mean, like, maybe you can invite her, like, don't put her in the bridal party or anything.
I mean, why would you? It sounds like it's just bad vibes. Why would you invite her? But also, like, I don't think, like, are you an a-hole in general? I don't think you're definitely being petty.
I don't think we have enough details to lay like a final verdict on either of them. It's like, it sounds like Alex was bad, and then it sounds like OP was bad back, and then there was literally no communication for 6 months.
Yeah, I think
both of you were at fault there.
Yes, and I think maybe the other person was at fault first, but you were at fault second. But that's where that story ends.
It's true.
Yeah.
My uncle tried to one-up me the day my dad passed, but I got my revenge.
Get that revenge.
And trigger warning, parent death from cancer. I, 26 female, lost my father, 52 male, permanently to cancer 2.5 years ago. I took time off from school to help my mom provide his end-of-life care at home. It was agonizing. We didn't sleep for 8 days, but I am at peace knowing that I did everything I possibly could to honor my father and support my mother. By the way, this comes from Economy Set 6383. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OKStorytime subreddit.
Woo.
So, everyone loved my dad. He was funny, the life of the party, and everyone said he looked like a particularly famous, attractive celebrity. He was the youngest of 3, but had a very patriarchal role in his Italian family, so it really changed the family dynamic when he passed. He and his older sister Jill, 55 female, were Irish twins, born within 12 months of each other, and behaved like twins in a lot of ways. His older brother, Jack, 58 male, is a different story. I've always felt that he was a little resentful towards my dad. He's a one-upper and can't let anyone have a story or thought more interesting than one of his own.
Yikes.
Doesn't sound pleasant to be around.
Boring.
I once said that I was having a rough day because I had to bathe all 3 of my dogs by myself, and his response was, well, you've never had to bathe the cat, so you have it easy. Every conversation
To be
with
fair,
him is
bathing
like
cats
this.
does sound way harder.
Yeah. Now, Jack can also be wholesome. He loves his family, regularly drives hours from where he lives to spend the weekend visiting and helping out his mother, my grandmother, and even offers to help my mom with any manual tasks my dad would have been responsible for. He and I are the 2 fantasy-loving nerds in a family of jocks. He sends me book recommendations and checks in every few months. I love my uncle, but his insecurities have led to some personality traits that can sometimes make surface interaction with him difficult. When my dad was declining, he took me on a drive and we talked about all of the things he was going to miss. One of which was my wedding. He told me that a few months prior, my boyfriend Ben, then 25 male, now 27 male, had asked for his blessing to marry me without my knowledge. Ben and I had been talking about getting engaged, but had previously agreed to wait until I finished grad school. But faced with the reality that my dad would never live to walk me down the aisle, I asked Ben if he would consider getting engaged earlier so that my dad would at least get to celebrate that with us.
Oh, that's so heartbreaking and cute at the same time.
He agreed, and we ended up getting engaged 20 days before my dad passed away.
Oh.
My mom and I did not sleep in the 8 days leading to his passing. We had to watch him 24/7, providing pain medication, water, back massages to relieve the pain of what we would later learn was tumors breaking his ribs, and trying to soak up every last moment of his life. 3 nights before he passed away, I got a text from Jack. He and Jill had checked in a few times, but were respecting my dad's wishes that no one else see him in this state. The text was not a check-in. It was a picture of Jack's oldest son, Charlie, 28 male, and his girlfriend, Kate, with a new ring on their finger. Very tone deaf. Very tone deaf. What?
In the days before?
In the days before your brother and your niece's father is about to pass.
I mean, I guess like maybe they were thinking, oh, like he would want to know about this moment before he passes away. Maybe that was like in the same way that OP wanted him to know about the engagement before he passed.
Well,
maybe it was something like that.
The caption read, "Charlie couldn't let you be the only one engaged in the family."
That changes things.
I was taken aback. First of all, I'm caring for my passing away father. I don't have the emotional capacity to get excited about a cousin getting engaged right now. Second, why phrase it like that? Is now really the time to tell me I'm not allowed to have anything special? And finally, wow, way to let me know how emotionally disconnected my cousin is from the current family tragedy.
That is, yeah.
In hindsight, I'm not upset about Charlie and Kate getting engaged when they did. I know Kate wanted a professional photographer at the proposal, and it's very possible it was a plan that just couldn't be moved. But Jack announcing it to me in that way in the middle of something so devastating was incredibly tone deaf. He could have very easily waited to bring it up. I did not respond to the text. This is where any grace I've afforded Jack sharply declines. The morning my dad passed away was the worst day of my life.
Oh man, I put ICs in the chat. I just know that is Jack, right? If Jack pulls anything today, that day,
Yeah.
I mean, which I feel like is going to happen. Oh, I mean, how are you that tone deaf?
Alice, yeah.
Oh,
My mom was inconsolable, so all the phone calls to the doctor, the hospice nurse, the funeral home, his siblings, and worst of all, my little brother. He's in the military and could not get leave until the celebration of life fell to me. We allowed his mom and siblings to come say goodbye while we waited for the funeral home to come collect his body. During that time, I read aloud the obituary my mom and I had been writing in the notes app on her phone. Jack had to step out for a moment to breathe, which was understandable, so I handed him the phone to read by himself when he got back. Instead of reading for content, he proudly announced, "I found a typo."
Okay, you know what? Maybe he's just really, really wants it to be grammatically correct.
My mom broke out of her near catatonia.
Near
Catatonia.
Catatonia.
Broke out of being near catatonic to tell him off and stormed out of the room. He followed her, but instead of apologizing, said, "Well, in my defense, I thought OP wrote it."
What?
Well,
So you wanted to hurt OP's feelings?
I wasn't there for that conversation. I was right next to Jill when she said she was glad my mom called Jack on his BS.
I mean, again, maybe Jack doesn't read emotional cues well.
I think it's pretty clear though.
Yeah, maybe he's not trying to. Maybe he's just yeah. Jams Pond says some people grieve differently. Unfortunately, some people turn to jokes. Maybe he's trying to make jokes, or he's trying to he's trying to make sense of this.
Not very well.
Maybe he's not trying to be. Maybe he's not trying to be annoying. He just is.
Eventually, everyone left my mom and me alone to process. She called her sister, and I called Ben over to the house to comfort me. Somewhere in there, I edited and posted my dad's obituary on Facebook with all the details of his celebration of life.
Did you correct the typo?
Jokes on Jack. There were multiple typos he missed. Don't know.
Okay.
It's almost like that's what happens when your first draft is written on your phone. I roll. Later that evening, I got a text from Jill. We live in a small town, and as people were finding out about my dad, they were reaching out to Jill so as not to bother my mom and me. Jill told me that she was directing people who wanted to bring us food to bring it to her house.
That's nice.
We're a 5-minute walk away, and stay for a drink in my dad's honor. It was turning into a small local wake. She wanted my mom and me to know it was happening, but put no pressure on us to join if we didn't feel ready. We decided to go, but my mom was still on the phone with her sister, so Ben and I arrived first. It was really good to see so many people who loved my dad. I was so beyond tired by that point that it took the edge off of reality. So I was even able to talk and laugh without crying. All of the food people had brought was set out potluck style, which was great because there was no way we'd be able to fit it all in Mom's freezer. As Ben and I were loading up our plates, there came Jack. Maybe he thought it would be a good distraction. Maybe it's because he hadn't seen Ben yet. But the first thing Jack said to us was, "Not to rush you guys, but Charlie and Kate already have a venue." Like it was a race, and we were losing.
Maybe he just needs a win, you know?
I mean, again, they're in the middle of this wake.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, by the way, I know you got like something going on over here, but you should really think about this wedding because we're going to beat you. And then you're going to be a loser.
And
a
then
loser.
he moonwalks out of there, and Opie's like, "It's
Yeah.
my father's funeral."
Man, how is this guy? I just don't understand how he's is he doing this on purpose? He must be doing this on purpose, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's
Why?
doing it on purpose to
Why?
an extent, at least. He's saying these things on purpose.
Because all of his life, he's been the lesser cousin, the lesser family member.
Yep.
And for once in his life, the golden cousin
Yeah.
is falling from his throne. And he thinks, oh, I should read for typos instead of reading for the room.
Ooh. Okay, Riley. Okay.
I was so beyond shocked. There are so many things I wanted to say. We've always wanted a long engagement. When was I supposed to wedding plan in the 3 weeks leading up to my dad's passing? What the F is wrong with you? But I was so exhausted and grief-stricken that no words came. Luckily, Jill, who I hadn't even noticed come inside, immediately jumped in. Jack, it's not a competition. This is not a competition. And Ben, bless him, smiled and came right back with, and even if it was, going first is a disadvantage because it's so much easier to one up.
Mm-hmm. We're going to blow your wedding out of the water.
Jack's face fell and he left the room. I would love to say it ended there, but in all of the grief and trauma processing, my anger at the things Jack said to me only festered. As I began wedding planning, there was a part of me that couldn't stop thinking about what Ben said. If I wanted, I really could one-up Charlie and Kate's wedding, but I held myself back because it felt wrong to direct anger from my uncle at my cousin. And then I found out what Charlie said at my dad's celebration. My closest cousin is Jill's daughter, Tess. Apparently at the celebration, Charlie heard that my mom was upset at Jack for the things he said, and Charlie told Tess, I don't get why she's mad when my parents gave them all that money. The money he's referring to is from when the doctors told my parents that my dad only had a few months left. My grandmother, Jill, and Jack all decided to split the price to charter a private jet to send my parents, brother, and me on one final family vacation to my dad's favorite place in the world. It was incredibly expensive, but they insisted as my dad was not physically well enough to fly commercially, so this was the only way we could do it.
Wow.
My parents paid for everything. Once we reached our destination, the family was thanked profusely, and we bought them all meaningful gifts. This place is known for its butterfly museum, and my dad would bring me a new preserved butterfly display every time he visited. So we brought back one for each of them. It's worth noting that Jack called to tell me his wife would never hang something like that in her house and regifted it. That's fine. No one is obligated to like something they didn't ask for. But why did Jack feel the need to tell me she'd done so? So apparently in Charlie's mind, writing a check grants you permission to be an a-hole to 2 women who have just become a widow and half orphaned. Noted.
Half orphaned. I've never heard that term before.
Maybe Charlie didn't know
Half
exactly.
Sorry, no, full rough.
Maybe Charlie didn't know exactly what his dad said, but that's an interesting attitude to have even without all the details. Then Mom was the only person not granted a +1 to Charlie and Kate's wedding.
Oh, wait. Well,
OP's mom, who just lost her husband, was not granted a +1.
Is it like I mean, I don't know if they were having a small wedding.
It wasn't because of attendance restrictions either.
Man, I'm really trying to be devil's advocate here, and then OP just be like, nope.
There were multiple families with children there. Apparently, they talked to Jack and other family members about it and decided that as a widow, it was more appropriate for her to go alone. That was the last straw.
Couldn't you go with a friend or something?
Yeah, but they didn't want her to. So
I think
Charlie,
like the best thing to do when someone's like life partner passes away to just isolate them. It'll make them feel
just
better.
like don't talk to them ever again.
Yeah, don't talk to them. Don't let them have friends around.
No,
for
of
sure.
course not.
That would be too much.
So as Charlie and Kate's wedding approached, my mom and I started taking notes. Their save the date didn't have their names on it. Their invitation was black with clear relief font. So it was completely illegible unless you held it up to the light at an angle. In their engagement photos, they tried to do that aloof stare instead of smiling, but they just looked angry or uncomfortable in most of them. Their wedding website had one poorly written paragraph about the night they met at a bar. I didn't say anything to anyone about it. I wasn't trying to be mean, but anytime they did something that just seemed underthought or underplanned, I made note of it. They got married between Christmas and New Year's, another negative in my opinion. That's everyone's break time. A little over a year after my dad's passing, when we got to the venue, there was a massive 8x10 photo of my dad holding Charlie as a toddler next to the card table. They did not have a close relationship. Charlie literally got engaged while he was dying, so its presence felt like they were capitalizing on grief in a way they weren't entitled to. We weren't warned it would be there, and my mom and I both had to excuse ourselves to cry out the surprise, anger, and unbidden wave of grief. We stayed for a bit after dinner, but left as soon as it felt appropriate. I don't ever intend to say anything mean about their wedding. I mean, girl,
I feel
we're
like
hearing
you
it all
might.
here.
I think you might
I
be
think
saying
you've
something.
said.
I think we're getting to that point.
My mom and I are both perfectionist maximalists, and I can honestly say that nothing we planned would be different if we weren't partially motivated by spite. But I get a petty amount of pleasure knowing that my wedding is going to outshine theirs in every way. Here is a complete list of upgrades my wedding has in comparison to Charlie and Kate's. Our invitations are legible.
Get wrecked.
Everyone unmarried gets a +1.
Boom. More fun people to mingle with.
Our wedding website has a short history of our relationship, of our whole relationship, not just a paragraph about the night we met.
I don't know if everyone's going to read that, but still cute.
They had 3 sprigs of eucalyptus on their table as decor. We have full floral arrangements.
A little more bobacious the floral arrangement, the better the wedding.
Their venue had awful acoustics. Ours is meant for live music. They had a DJ who never let a song go past its first chorus. We had a 10-piece band.
That's pretty cool.
They had a candy bar. We had a fire pit with a s'mores bar.
Get wrecked.
That's yummy.
Fire is cool.
Speaking of bars, their 2 bartenders could not keep up with demand, so we're having 4. As was always planned, there will be a small memorial table for my dad with a photo of the 2 of us nestled in some flowers and a candle burning all night. It will be separate from the card table so as not to force everyone to visit it. If it would make them uncomfortable, we'll be warning the family it's there. Yes, I recognize that we're privileged to have some of these things, particularly the budget for a band, but again, I never plan to say anything about it. I'm not trying to flaunt wealth or status. Kate's parents are in roughly the same financial place as my mom, nor have I made my wedding about them in any way. By the way, I'm going to make this about us, because you can listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to the story. Do you have any final thoughts?
I mean, it sounds like whether or not this guy is being an intentional a-hole or an unintentional a-hole, his actions are hurting the people around him. And so I feel like at a certain point, regardless of intention, you just have to put some distance for your own sanity.
Yeah.
And it feels like OP is starting to do that.
I agree. And yeah, it just seems like your cousin and Jack not behaving well at all. And just enjoy that you had a great wedding.
Yeah.
Or are having a great wedding, I guess.
Agreed.
Queen Procrastination says never had a s'more.
That's crazy. Fix that right now. You could get a graham cracker.
Just get a graham cracker, a marshmallow, and some chocolate.
And put the marshmallow over
and over. You can do it in the microwave too. It's not as fun.
Not as fun. But you could put open flame like on
a candle.
The stove.
Oh,
yeah.
That's true. Yeah. That's your homework.
Yeah. You
Don't
have OK Storytime homework.
But there is a little bit left to this story. I'm marrying a person who loves, protects, and supports me, surrounded by people who do the same. And our wedding has so many little touches, particular to our relationship and personalities. This isn't really petty revenge. If anything, it's a dare. If Jack tries to say anything, I have a laundry list of ways to shut him down in a way I just couldn't back then. Because after all, going first is a disadvantage because it's so much easier to one-up. The wedding is in October. I'll post an update if anything goes down. And that is the end of that story.
My sister-in-law made a secret plan to steal my wedding.
Secret sister.
Secret.
She's the worst.
This is so true. I, 30 female, have been with my husband, 36 male. We'll call him Jared, for 14 years. Married for 10. That's some time. Our 10-year wedding anniversary was in September of last year, but in January of 2024, we decided to renew our vows since we didn't get to have a big wedding. By the way, this comes from No Persimmon 354, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So Jared and I got married pretty quickly because I was going through court to get my ex's paternal rights terminated. It took 3 years to finalize because, as we all know, courts be taken forever. But the reason I was terminating his paternal rights, well, I'll leave that up for your imagination. Courts don't just terminate parental rights unless there's a legitimate reason for the best interest of the child. So we can guess it was nothing good. So anyways, my husband has been in my son's life since my son was 2 weeks old, so he's been there since day one. After the court was done, Jared asked what the process would be to adopt my son. Adorable. The court said that we had to be married for 2 years before we could even start the adoption process. So my husband went out, got a ring, and still got down on one knee to ask me to marry him. And that is adorable. I love it. Then he whisked me away to get married with my mom and his mom as a witness. He didn't want to make the process any longer than it needed to be. I love Jared for that. And at the time, our daughter we share together was 1. My son was 4. Now back to the story. I am a Halloween freak. Anything and everything Halloween is my absolute spirit animal. So Jared told me that we are going to renew our vows on October 31st of 2024. And I couldn't have been more excited. This man, Jared's a real one.
He knows what you want.
Bro, he's a real one. I started making phone calls to family members, friends, and everyone in between. My mother-in-law, Mary, is a big help with our family. I'm closer to her than to my own mother, so it wasn't a hard decision to ask if she could help. I started ordering my dress, which of course was black. You can't have a Halloween wedding in white.
That's so emo. I love it.
Fire. Besides, my favorite color is black. I put the down payment on the venue, vendors, catering. Of course, our food was going to be Halloween themed. We were having chicken, pork, or steak, all put out on plates, decorated to look like some sort of ghost, monster, mummy, etc.
That's so cute.
Dude, this is great. I'm here for this. It was decorated with Nightmare Before Christmas with Jack and Sally at the altar. Dude, how does this keep getting better?
I love it.
I don't understand. It just keeps getting better.
I already know this is like probably her favorite story.
Oh, dude, yeah, this is great. I was just absolutely loving every minute of it. So here's where we get to my future sister-in-law, Amy, wanting to get married on the same day.
Boo.
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 You stink.
Literally and figuratively. Boo.
Yeah. She started telling Mary that she wanted to get married to Jared's brother, Justin, on Halloween as well, but she just hadn't told anyone yet. She said she was upset I stole her day. Like what? So you're telling me, oh, she stole your day, but you've not even announced, let alone done any of the bookings to get it. But OP has already done all the bookings. Oh, so she said she was upset I stole her day. Like what? You didn't tell anyone. So how was I supposed to even know? But even if Amy wanted to get married on Halloween, I still would have gotten married on Halloween as well, but I would have pushed it out until October 31st, 2025, which that is already a huge, I mean, you're going to delay your wedding a year for someone else. I mean, that is beyond kind. That's beyond kind already. I wouldn't have minded, but I already put deposits down, so I can't just change the date on the venue. For one, somebody has already booked it for October 31st, 2025, and I didn't want to cancel and lose out on the deposit, of course. So I just apologized and told her that she could do it next Halloween at a different venue. She was not happy. She didn't like that. She wanted to steal her wedding day. So I spoke to Mary about what to do. She said there's nothing we can do since I announced it before Amy did that we are doing it on Halloween. If Amy had an issue with it, maybe she should have brought it up when Jared and I told everyone. I would have been more than happy to wait a year. However, it is too late. Mary spoke to Amy about this without me asking her to. She was just trying to help, but this made things worse. I then started getting text messages from Amy saying that I was being unfair since I was already married and she wasn't yet, so I should just transfer everything over to her and she would pay me back. Amy is crazy. This is crazy, Amy.
She is crazy, but she probably has good taste because OP got all those sick ass wedding venues, and she's like, I want that. Transfer everything over to me.
I mean, OP's wedding, it's literally a Nightmare Before Christmas themed. It's a brilliant, like,
it's brilliant,
just
it's
amazing,
brilliant, and she wants it. She wants it. She saw that and was like, yes, please.
Yeah, just give me everything.
She wasn't like, no, she wasn't like 2 of those. She was like, one of those, yours, mine.
Yeah, she said, when I was a little girl, I always dreamed of
your wedding.
Completely stealing everything about your wedding and making you move it to the next year.
Yeah.
My God.
What is marriage without a little conquering? You know?
She also told me that I need to stop talking to Mary as much so she can get close with her too. I was baffled. Did she really just ask me to do those things? So I asked her, you want me to stop talking to Mary as much and give you everything I was planning for my wedding? Amy said, yes, I declined.
Well, at least she's straightforward.
At least she's honest. I told Amy it's a 14-year friendship that I've gained with Mary, and I was not changing that for her. I also said no to transferring everything from the wedding over to her. Amy then suggested we both get married at the same time since it was already ready to go.
Ooh.
Married at the same time.
I mean, it's just cost effective. It only makes sense.
So I told Amy that she is not going to get married at the same time and same place in front of my family that she's never met. She just said that she will just invite some of her family as well, so it would make it less awkward. I again declined. Amy took it well, or so I thought. So I thought.
mean, she should take it while she's asking for ridiculousness.
Dude, I didn't hear any more about it for months, if only I knew what she had planned the day of my wedding. Everything was great. Things were going down without a hitch. Bridesmaids were getting ready. It was just so beautiful. Then Justin came to knock on my bridal door to thank me. Thank me for what? He said that Amy told him not to say anything, but that her and I were planning to surprise Jared, and his brother will be getting married the same day, the same time, and it would be special.
I feel like this is a special situation for sure.
I told him, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
You tell him, John.
Absolutely not. I told him everything. Justin was embarrassed and apologized. He said some of her family were already showing up to the wedding. So she invited other people to her wedding. It's just so bad. It's just so bad. I hadn't put in my budget for this many more mouths to feed. I was freaking out. But then I had the best idea.
Ooh.
Wow. Where's this sudden inspiration coming from?
Hit me with it, because I do not see you.
I don't either.
I do not know where this is going.
I called Amy to my bridal room, told her how sorry I was, and I was being super unfair. Lock in. I told her I spoke to the venue and they agreed to do a double wedding, but it would have to wait until after my wedding and reception. I said to inform her family to leave until then. Okay. Basically, let's get her out of the way from the duration of my wedding. Then we can deal with whatever happens. Probably the venue's like, hey, we're closed. So again, you didn't pay for anything, so get on out of here.
Honestly, kind of smart.
Yeah, it's like what is it? Like you can fight with war, but it's fight with honey. That's not it. I'm mixing parables. But you win a war with I think through pleasure. Is
it you can catch a lot of flies with honey, but you catch more honeys being fly?
It's the war one. I'm sorry, guys. I'm mixing up all my analogies. But Amy was so excited. I then went to the venue, explained what was about to happen, but they told me not to worry, as this isn't the first time something like this has happened. God, I can only imagine. They will have the doors locked and no one will let her in when she arrives. Plus, Justin already knew this is what I told Amy. He agreed to tell Amy that they will not be getting married on that day at that venue before chaos comes down like the wrath. I did feel bad for her family, but they all live in the same state as us, so thankfully they didn't spend a fortune to get out to the venue. They all just went out, ate dinner, and enjoyed themselves. So nothing crazy. They weren't even mad at me at the end. They were mad at Amy for deceiving them, as they should be. By the way, you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, your favorite podcast app, and search OK Storytime to listen to our whole catalog. But I'm going to get into the finale of this story. Anyways, I had the most amazing wedding. We drank, we enjoyed ourselves, danced, ate, and Jared and I, we were so happy. The next day, I got a bunch of text messages from Amy apologizing to me about how she acted. Amy, I already know Justin told her to make things right or he wasn't going to marry her. Ooh, yeah, because she tricked Justin as well. So that's a whole thing there too. So I don't want them to split, the couple, Amy and Justin. They have a child together, and other than this, I didn't have huge issues with her. I mean, I wasn't friends with her, but I didn't hate her either. I now know they have a venue somewhere else, and they are getting married this next Halloween. And we've got some relevant comments and a hunky shoulder. Comment number 1, next Halloween, be sure to thank her for allowing you to have an anniversary party at her wedding. Wow. That is fire. She'll be fine with it, right? She's just not going to have double standards, right? Commenter number 2 says, well, the biggest lesson from this is that Amy is untrustworthy and also jealous of your relationship with your mother-in-law, Mary. Keep an eye on her so she doesn't try to cause a rift between you and mother-in-law. You know she's sneaky. Commenter number 3 says, what is scary is that the venue has had this happen before, 100%. And that is the end of that twisted tale, ladies and gentlemen.
My mother is causing problems with my fiance's family. I can't stand her.
Then you should sit down, maybe.
So this is a weird situation. My mom and I haven't had the best relationship. She has a history of emotional abuse. I didn't see her from ages 12 to 18 and lived with my dad exclusively. there was a no contact order issued by the court after multiple shrinks evaluated her. By the way, this comes from Wedded Throwaway 123, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, after high school, we started rebuilding our relationship, and things have generally been good. We haven't had any blow-ups in a long time. She and my fiance, Marie, 28, got along great. Everything seemed perfect. She threw Marie a beautiful bridal shower at a fancy winery in the area. My mom likes to show off by spending lots of money on parties. There were about 40 people in attendance. The shower went great, and everyone was happy until a couple of days later when she texted Marie's mom and asked if she could come over with a bottle of wine and talk. It was an unusual request. She went to my mother-in-law's house and talked to her for an hour and a half about how trashy Marie's brother girlfriend, Sarah, is. Sarah's 17 and has had a pretty rough life, but she's a nice girl, all things considered. Mother-in-law treats her like a daughter. My mom said she ate too much at the shower, even though everyone had multiple servings according to multiple people, and was classless, trashy, and wasn't good enough for my future brother-in-law. She ate too much? Sue a girl for being hungry? That's so weird. She also happens to be not white. She's Latina, and my mom grew up in a rural area with lots of migrant workers who she's always looked down on. According to everyone we have asked, Sarah was very well behaved and didn't do anything to justify this response. My mom also said that she would only be allowed one meal at the wedding and rehearsal dinner, which is not her call to make.
We're rationing food now? You're done.
Why?
You're out. You're canceled from
Just
this
let
event.
everyone eat what they want to freaking eat.
She's like, she's too fat and I hate her because of who she looks like or what she looks like.
Mother-in-law says she'll pay for extra food, but my mom says it's not about money. She said Sarah needs to learn some etiquette.
You got me almost cursing, lady.
You need to learn some etiquette.
Yeah.
Maybe you should learn how to keep your mouth shut.
Mm.
A little more context. My mom works a corporate job and makes good money. My mother-in-law is self-employed as a housekeeper. My mom hires mother-in-law to clean her house. It's a weird class power dynamic. Whoa. My mom has always had a very elitist attitude and looks down on those who aren't doing as well as her. My mother-in-law is normally not one to take crap like this. She really cares about this girl like her own daughter. But out of respect for me, she held her tongue and took it for an hour and a half. Afterward, she called Marie and told her about it. Marie was devastated because it became very apparent that my mom doesn't like her brother, and family is the most important thing to her. By extension, I was upset too. My mother has no business doing this. It's not her place. The next morning, I emailed her and said that what she said was very hurtful, that she shouldn't have done it, that Sarah can eat whatever she wants, and that the shower will forever be remembered for this, and not the actual beautiful event that occurred. She responded kind of flabbergasted that I would think this, saying it was a misunderstanding and she's very hurt by my email. She said she was only trying to help Sarah. She CC'd Marie and mother-in-law and said she wished we would have spoken in person about this. Then she says that she doesn't understand why Marie is upset about this, said Sarah needed an attitude check, and that she isn't as cute as she thinks she is. At the end, she throws in a jab directed at me and says that I treated her like my dad treated me in an incident last year, which was not at all the same and not relevant to this conversation at all.
Yeah, now you're just trying to shift perspective, be like, I'm actually a victim.
Yeah.
You're treating me like I'm being a victim. I'm a victim.
This set me off. My dad, who along with his wife raised me while she wasn't allowed to speak to me, had nothing to do with this. I fired back, perhaps too hastily, in an email that recalled the 6 years she didn't see me because she was court-ordered not to, for being abusive. The fact that I don't remember most of my childhood because of her, and how the white trash woman with 3 divorces and married first cousins has zero room to judge people on their classiness and etiquette.
Yo.
Hope he did not pull any punches.
How's it? Do you think they're all 3 married to each other? You think they're married into a throuple?
Potentially.
Throuple cousins?
Potentially, I think so.
I hope not.
Their
No.
family tree is a circle.
When did that?
Oh, the family tree is a bush.
Yeah, time is a flat circle.
She responded that she would not be able to attend the wedding. After a lot of discussion, I decided I wanted to give her an out of the hole she dug and called her, leaving a voicemail apologizing. She texted back saying she wanted to speak in person to Marie and me. So I proposed a time for the next day. She responded this morning, saying that she thought about it and nothing is going to change her mind. She wished us all the best. We're still operating under the assumption that she'll change her mind and come. Again, she is my mother. Our relationship is forever changed, but I still want her there. I also think that she isn't going to be able to spin this to her friends and family in a way that doesn't make her look bad. She is big into her image, and I don't think she could handle that. However, I am making no moves towards having her come. The ball is 100% in her court. Now for the complications. We have about 100 guests coming, and about 28 of them are her friends and family. Do we let them know about this? She's not coming, so no hard feelings if you don't. Do we uninvite them? What if none of them show? She gave us a fair amount of money for the wedding. I'm tempted to give it back to her. We don't need it. We saved enough ourselves. She used to use money as a control thing, but I make more than her now, so she can't. I don't need her, and I think that scares her a little. However, I also don't see a downside to keeping it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
There's not a downside
not
to keeping
really.
that. Don't give the money back to the racist.
No.
Keep their money.
Keep it.
So they can't use it for racism.
I think any judge would laugh her out of court if she sued to get it back. Quite frankly, I think I'm owed it, and I'm going to use it to pay for her friends if they still end up coming. We hired private security for both the rehearsal dinner and the wedding. This is not without precedent.
Oh, no.
Yikes. There are multiple instances where my mom made a public spectacle growing up over bad situations. She attacked my dad at a middle school band concert in front of all of my classmates after she had been served papers earlier the day so he could get full custody of me. I do love her despite all her shortcomings. She's my mom. I just can't stand how judgmental she can be. I know everyone will regret it if she doesn't come. Well, I don't think Marie will regret. I don't think Marie's side will really care.
Yeah, I don't think anyone will regret it. I don't even think, honestly, you have to regret it.
No.
I mean, we've all got a lot of strange feelings about our parents and people who we have really close or weird or strange relationships with.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it doesn't sound like your relationship is built on a solid foundation of stability,
But there's an update. A couple months have passed and things have finally settled down. Things were fairly stressful before the wedding. My mom tried playing some mind games with us. After she told us she had thought about it and wasn't coming, I stopped responding to her. A couple days after that, she texted asking if she could drop something off for the wedding, which was obviously a way to get back in, which I didn't respond to. Finally, a week before, she texted myself, Marie, and mother-in-law apologizing in a fairly half-butted way. She called Marie and left a voicemail as well, also saying she'd call me and mother-in-law, but didn't call me or mother-in-law. Marie texted with her a little bit, saying she could come to the wedding. A few hours passed, and I still never got a call. So Marie texted her, I hope you call OP and mother-in-law. And within a few minutes, she called me. I let her leave a voicemail. We had a little scrambling to do. We hired the security guard, made other arrangements for pet sitting. You should also hire your sword friends.
Yeah.
Or maybe last OP sword friends, I suppose.
The previous
don't have
story
your-
had some sword-wielding guards.
Yeah, for the wedding.
But
So
they
I
weren't
feel
really,
like
they weren't really swords. They were sticks.
my mom was going to take our cat while we were on our honeymoon for 2 weeks. We had generally watched each other's cats while on vacation and basically eliminated any dependency we had on her. It wasn't too hard, but it was additional work. The rehearsal dinner was fine. My mom and her boyfriend sat by themselves. No one would talk to them. So I tried to make them feel less awkward by talking to them for a while, as did Marie. She has been a great sport through all this. Marie had planned to rent this diamond necklace from some jewelry rental website to wear. But when my mom got wind of that, she did it before Marie could, so she gave us the necklace at the rehearsal dinner. Yet another control thing, in my opinion, but I was almost done with her, so I didn't fight it. We got married as planned. My mom was on her best behavior, but you could still tell something was totally off. She had super crazy eyes the whole time. The security guard looming around probably didn't help, and this guy was all business. He was amazing. During pictures, she did some weird bowing gesture to me, as if I was somehow subjugating her by not putting up with her crap. I mostly ignored her the whole night.
Maybe she was just trying to be really polite, actually. She was like, I read that the deep bow is very polite.
The morning after, I met her at the hotel cafe and dropped off the necklace. There were a couple family members there, so we talked for a little bit. I don't think they knew what was going on. Then I left. But you should never leave us.
Never.
You should listen to full episodes of stories just like this.
Yes.
Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search Pokey Storytime.
Oh, yeah.
We went on our honeymoon for 2 weeks, came back, and have been living our lives as a married couple, sans my mom being in the picture. Haven't heard from her, haven't tried to talk to her. Marie went to see her counselor about all of it, and she also confirmed, which I guess I knew, but didn't want to admit, that my mom is crazy. It's actually been nice with her not being around. I feel more free. I guess I hope deep down that there's a way that she can be made not crazy, but I'm not holding my breath. And that is the end of that story. My father left us for his new family. Now he wants a family unity ceremony?
What?
My dad's engaged to his partner of about 2 years. They moved in together last month, and their wedding is in December. I, 17 male, am dad's only biological child. His almost wife has 3 kids of her own. Her kids are younger, probably under 10, maybe even all under 8. I'm not that sure. By the way, this comes from Few Impressions 6465, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, they decided they wanted to do a family unity ceremony and have it be about becoming one family instead of the 2 of them becoming a married couple. His future stepkids are excited about the idea and want to take part. I don't and won't take part. I already explained to him that I'm not interested and can't be talked into it. He asked me why and pushed for me to reconsider. He told his wife, and she's freaking out because her kids have this idea that they'll get a big brother out of this marriage. My dad and she told the kids will be real siblings once the 2 of them are married. All of this despite the fact I really don't know her or her kids. I've only spent any real time with the kids twice, and it was more me trying not to be a wiener than me wanting to spend time or get to know them. I think that, and I think it's obvious because I don't know their actual ages. Some background to explain the relationship dynamics, because I'm sure there are questions. My dad raised me alone. My mom took off when I was less than a year old. I don't remember her. I don't remember her being around. Her family wasn't around or in my life either. I didn't have a lot of family besides my dad growing up, except for one of his siblings. For most of my life, dad was a good dad. But when I was maybe 11, he started preparing me for the fact he wanted his own life and to travel the world when I turned 18 and I'd be on my own. Dang. He talked about how I shouldn't expect to see him very often and to expect we might not see each other for years sometimes. That's insane. That's a crazy thing for a dad to say.
It happens. At least he's honest.
He's like, yep, I'm never going to see you again, and get ready.
Good luck with your life, son.
He said he didn't want to be tied down until he passed away, that he would call or answer calls when he wasn't busy with life. He said some stuff that made me believe he resented the fact he raised me alone and had to change his life for me.
I think
it was
that's
pretty obvious.
Yeah,
that's
I think
kind
that's
of
what
the
you
main...
do, like when you become a parent.
I like the fact that OP's like, it made me believe, like he's outright saying that. I feel like he's just saying exactly those words.
You sign up for that when you become a parent. You need to take care of your kid.
That's on you, buddy. He never actually let up on that. He talked about it so much that we started to fight. I told him I got it, and he was done being a dad at 18. He told me I was being dramatic. He argued that he told me I could go 5 or maybe even more years without seeing him, and he didn't want to be tied down. That he might even ignore calls so we could live life. I told him that sounded like he wanted to stop being a dad. He told me I was focusing on the wrong parts. When we argued about it other times, he said that he wanted the life he missed out on and he wasn't waiting around for me to be ready. That I'd land on my feet eventually and I wouldn't be his kid anymore. I'd be his peer.
What the heck does that mean?
This man is weird.
We're gonna have a drink when you get 21.
He's like, I don't know when we're not a bunch of
and then we can travel the world as buddies.
Yeah. Like, I'm not your father anymore. I'm just your friend.
I'm trying to be your friend.
But, like, the one that you only see every 5 years.
And we barely talk. But I'm still your dad.
Which he then said I'd picked up wrong. But basically, for years, I've been prepared to leave at 18 and not have my dad in it. Then he met his almost wife. And all that talk about traveling the world was gone. He started to become a dad to her kids. He was spending time with them and building a life with them. Eventually, he tried to include me, but that was only really in the last 4 or 5 months. But I've ignored it. I babysat twice for them. Once when his almost wife was rushed to the hospital, and the second time when his almost wife had a follow-up surgery for health issues she has. My dad is trying to argue that our family is growing and I should be trying harder to be included in it. I told him that won't happen.
You know what you tell him?
I'll see you in 5 years.
Yeah, exactly. I gotta go travel the world.
Yeah, I don't want you to tie me down.
Literally.
And if he wants whatever half-butted relationship he planned to have with me before, then he needs to accept that that I'll come to his wedding if he wants me there, as long as he accepts I won't be part of that ceremony. If he can't accept it, then I won't go, and he'll need to accept that. His almost wife heard us talk it out, and she said I'm not taking the 11 good years into it, and I'm punishing her children for my dad not being perfect, and that isn't fair to them. She told me a good person would be glad dad decided to stick around and love the new people, especially the kids, and want better for them. Am I the a-hole? And for full disclosure, I have about a month to go until I'm 18, and my plan is to move out that day. You're not the a-hole.
No, you can't force a family on someone that doesn't want the family.
You have a very complicated relationship with your father. Great that he is stepping up as a parent for the new kids, but
he didn't step up for you.
You're allowed to have your own feelings about that, and
Yeah.
no one can kind of tell you differently.
Yeah, no one's going to force you. Oh my God, you're the final puzzle piece to this family. No.
There is an update, though. On the day I made my post, I had plans to sleep at a friend's house. Once I got there, my dad sent a text saying his partner was rushed to the hospital again and he needed me to babysit again. I told him no once, and that was it. A few hours later, my dad asked where the heck I was and why I had said no when this was an emergency. He sent multiple texts, but when he realized I really wouldn't babysit and had stayed wherever the heck I was, he went off on me and told me if I won't babysit and be there for the family, then I better stay gone. He texted me the next morning, yesterday technically, and said I was not living under his roof after that stunt and to stay the F gone. I knew he meant it, so when everyone was out, I went to the house and grabbed everything I had prepared to leave with when following my plan exactly. That included all the important documents I had, clothes, and anything I bought or that was given to me by people who aren't my dad. It was basically all ready to go anyway, and I got in and out without a fight. My friends' parents are letting me stay until I can follow through with my original plan, which was to get somewhere with a friend locally until we all graduate, and then some friends and I will be moving state. We've been working on this for a long time now. Honestly, I've been working my butt off to save money to be able to leave, regardless of whether I had help from my friends, but having them definitely helps. My dad sent more texts since I grabbed all my stuff. He tried to guilt and shame me and talked about how much the kids needed me and I wasn't there. Well, then you be there for your own kids. Come on.
It would have been different. He's using his kids and his wife as a scapegoat that he actually wants you there.
Yeah. But he also let out way more of his resentment towards me and is confirmed what I already knew about him. He doesn't regret the way he treated me since I was 11. I mean, that's so obvious with the fact that like the second that you did something that he didn't like, he just kicked you out again.
And guess what? He's probably going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
I hope not to those new kids, but...
Yeah, it's ridiculous. He meant every word he said and that he expected me to pay him back for raising me. And that's when you say, no, nope. But I won't. I'm not staying to be treated like crap. He still wants me out of his house, and he reminded me that I was not welcome back. That he better not come home to find me there ever again. By the way, you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio. If you search up OK Storytime, you'll find full episodes with stories just like this.
Yeah.
But there is a little bit left to the story. Do you have any final thoughts?
Bye. There's no reason to...
You already had this plan.
You don't owe him a thing.
Yeah, nope. You already had this plan to move out. He's just confirmed that, he hasn't changed at all.
Yeah.
And you don't owe him anything. So that's my update. It's been a crazy day / couple of days, and I got so many comments on my post, way more than I expected. I know a few people tried to convince me that he really did love me and didn't resent me and was trying to make it up to me. But after all this, I'm more convinced he resents me, and the trying to include me lately was an act to make me someone who could do stuff for him. I don't believe I ever had the dad I originally thought I had, because I don't think an actual good and loving dad would shut it all off one day for no good reason. Things have changed a little, but I'll keep working towards my plan. I'll also make sure I make it up to my friends' parents because I know this was unexpected for them, and I'm grateful they let me stay.
They were more parental people to you than your actual dad was.
Yeah, big time, big time.
So shout out to your friend and their parents.
But that is the end of that story.
My sister scheduled her wedding on my son's birthday, and she wants us to choose her.
Well, maybe your son shouldn't have been born on that day. Poor planning.
My husband's sister got engaged in July 2024. We got excited for her. Our only son's birthday, her nephew's birthday, is on the 25th of April, 2025. As it is a Friday, we had planned to do a combined birthday party, christening, a naming ceremony on the 26th of April to allow people to attend without taking a day off. However, in November 2024, my sister-in-law told my husband and I that she was getting married on the 26th of April. By the way, this comes from user SillyScone555, and if you want to submit your own stories, submit it to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So we told her that it was tricky because it was around his birthday and we had plans. She told us we were effectively stupid because she only gets married once and her nephew's first birthday meant nothing to her. She said
Well,
we
that's
were
harsh.
effectively stupid because of other family members were born on Christmas Eve and they had no problems with that. She also pointed out that one of her cousins shares a birthday with their son, so that means it's okay for two things to be on the same day. She said we were crazy because it's not like she's getting married on his actual birthday,
Yeah.
as the day she plans to marry was the day after his actual birthday. So she probably maybe even took it into consideration.
I feel like, yeah. She's like, I'm not even getting married on his birthday.
Like, I know whose day was yesterday, and we're going to party on the 25th, and then the wedding day is going to be the party for that day, and then we're all going to celebrate on the 27th. We explained our reasoning for the Saturday date. She then said she spoke to the venue and they would allow her to move her date to the next weekend. But then she came back and said that actually she wouldn't move it because international guests had already booked their tickets. It turns out she had set a date in June, booked venues, and sorted everything out. Plus, guests had booked tickets 4 months before she told us anything. We told her we wished we could attend her whole wedding, but
Oh my
because it's
God.
a milestone birthday, the first birthday following a traumatic birth and pregnancy, previous miscarriage, we really wanted to press ahead with our plans. We told her we'd do our event in the morning and join her in the afternoon.
I kind of think you're the a-hole here, OP. I don't know. Like, I don't know if maybe you guys will disagree with us, but why it's not on his
It's-
actual birthday.
Yeah, it's not the actual.
Just do it on Sunday.
What is one more day?
It's your sister-in-law's wedding. Come on, push it a day.
Yeah, weddings don't happen. Like, sure, you can renew your vows, but weddings only do happen once, unless
Yeah.
if you get divorced.
Yeah.
Shout out to that. But yeah, birthdays happen more. I mean, this is the first birthday. The 1-year-old's not going to remember this. I know you want to make this moment very cherishable, and you want to remember all of this, and love your son as much as you want.
Yeah,
but
the problem isn't that you should totally nix the whole idea. It's just push it.
just push it a day. We've since found out that 1, she had planned everything while keeping us in the dark for months. 2, we were in the last in her circle to know. Her only sibling is my husband. 3, she's actually getting married on our son's birthday, the Friday, in a civil ceremony. 4, she's having a second service on the next date, on the date we planned on our son's christening and birthday party. 5, her bridal shower was scheduled on the same day I had my baby shower last year.
Okay. So she's trying to.
I've
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe we're having a little bit of a-hole reversal here. We'll see.
One date is a coincidence, but now I'm not sure what to think after she took the 3 dates we've associated with our son so far. My husband told sister-in-law we would proceed to celebrate our son at his party as everything was in place, but would join her later. He feels that his family has been clear about not caring for our son. Again, his sister took around 2 months to meet him, despite living in the same country, and his mom took 4 months because she traveled a month before he was due and returned 3 months after he was born. When she went to travel, she asked my husband to leave me at home when I was 8 months pregnant with a difficult pregnancy and go and stay with his dad in another city because his dad was undergoing tests. His sister has since been very cold and has sent her parents to guilt us. Her mom had a proper wail and blamed us for everything and tried to pressure us. Sister-in-law since has said that when she tried to change her date, her mom stopped her. It seems mother-in-law and sister-in-law had planned everything out months before. For a bit of a background and context, we had been in no contact with mother-in-law until a year ago because of her, me, then encouraging our community and her wider family to shun me and as well. She apologized for it a year ago, but has displayed very concerning behavior. I've been trying to give her a chance. She teamed up with a family member of mine who mistreated me because I have a history of a... Oh no. She then went around telling people, including the person who officiated our wedding, to take me, having been mistreated, with a pinch of salt. She said I was divisive because I chose not to be around my... or allowed their sister to force me to be around them, so she then thwarted her chance to play happy families with them.
It sounds like your mother-in-law is pretty sucky.
100%.
I am wondering how this comes back around to the
Sister.
sister-in-law.
Sister-in-law is the golden child.
Yeah. So maybe
Sister-in-law's the
they
golden child.
always try and thwart any of your
Mhm.
plans.
Like, oh, you should put
Yeah.
it on that date.
Yeah.
I put boundaries with my family to avoid further emotional because I still have PTSD. And she then tag teamed me with them and used that information to hurt me after my husband had warned them about how damaging the female member from my family was. My husband had not known his mother could be this evil. We were heartbroken. I've been in therapy for 6 years now. He warned her to be careful how she associated with the so that she'd understand how vulnerable and sensitive things were. But he did not know she would take that information to then strategize to then destroy me.
Yeah, you need to maybe go very
That's-
limited to no contact with your mother-in-law.
That is pertinent information.
Yeah. She's like actively working, like plotting against you.
She went and gave the villain more power.
Yeah, I think it's time to maybe limit contact with your mother-in-law.
I'm still heartbroken, but I've had no choice but to keep moving so I don't break down. My mother-in-law has also been cold to me since. She sent me an invitation to the bridal shower before it happened, but her messages were really cold. It was just, here's the information for the bridal shower, and this is the amount you should pay. I honestly think and feel that his family purposely put him in positions to choose between his wife and them. But now that our son is born, it's now about making him choose between his son and them. He thinks this too. And because of that, and because of how important the christening and party was, he's decided to put a boundary.
Good.
I'm just really sad because I was so ill when I was pregnant. I was bullied at work. They were worried my son was in danger, and I was hospitalized before he was born, and I had preeclampsia and was in and out of the hospital. And so was my son. I am therefore just exhausted, vulnerable, and so very sad. I didn't realize how broken I've been until I've written this. I try not to think because I can't afford to ever break down. Me and my husband are all our son has because both our families show they give zero crap about us. That is just background context. But as things stand, my sister-in-law has been cold to my husband and myself. Even at the engagement party, she and her parents asked us to host for her. We did it because we love her despite everything. She was so cold to us there. When our son was hospitalized for 10 days, she only texted my husband once and never checked in again. In the first 4 weeks he was born, I used to send her updates, but I stopped and she sounded disinterested. She doesn't check in anymore. He has seen her 3 times in almost a year, and my son doesn't know his aunt. But I know you, and you, and you, that you can join us by listening to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and search OK Storytime. There's a little bit more to this story, but Sophia, I mean, this
I'm gonna have to remove the a-hole status that I temporarily placed on OP.
Yeah.
Because with all of the stuff that has come to light, it seems like it's not just this one situation.
Yeah.
Because again, if it was this one situation, it would have been like, why can't we move it?
But
I think this is part of it's part of a greater issue where your mother-in-law and your sister-in-law are clearly working against you. And I think it's just like you have to kind of limit contact.
There's no point. There's no point. You don't owe him anything.
I think maybe even no contact with your mother-in-law if she's actively trying to work with your abuser.
I would be no contact immediately if I found out about that.
Yeah.
You're just supporting someone who hates me and has given me PTSD. And you're willingly doing that. Great.
It's like,
I'm done with
bye.
you.
Never talking to you again.
I didn't mean to go off on a tangent, but I wanted to give a bit of context to explain why I'm concerned as to whether this was just a case of bad planning or whether there's an intentive shadiness to it. Even if there is, I think we are compromising by still going to the afternoon of her wedding. But her response, which is extreme anger, is making me wonder if we're being a-holes. What do you think? Are we the a-holes? No.
I think under normal circumstances you would be, but
if there was no
but we have a lot of context.
If there was no background context, yes. But since there is this overlapping boundary of her ruining your son's day or like just ruining days that you had planned already, and not giving you that context or giving you the time to plan things, there might be a motive.
I do think that you should have a conversation before you make any decisions, though, with your, have a more in-depth conversation with your sister-in-law.
You know who should do it, though?
The husband.
The husband.
Yeah.
Husband, that's his sister.
Have him talk with his sister. Say, hey,
what's going on?
Have you been planning this on purpose? And she might lie. We don't know if she'll tell the truth, but it's good to have that conversation before the wedding.
I think we both wholeheartedly agree. Cut contact with mother-in-law.
Yeah.
What she did was messed up.
But that is the end of that story. So we're going to jump into the next one.
Stay right there.
My sister-in-law recently lost her husband. Should my wedding be postponed?
Sure.
It's really all about the vibe there. March 27th, 2025, I, 34 male, am supposed to get married next month. Now I'm not sure it's going to happen. My partner's sister, 35 female, was widowed last month. I've gotten a front row seat of how it has rocked my soon-to-be in-laws. Everyone has really tried going above and beyond for his sister, making sure she's as comfortable as possible. And I truly can't imagine, you know? You'd probably have to institutionalize me if something happened to my boy. By the way, this comes from user RemarkableRust230, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, my partner's mom came to him a few days ago and asked if he would consider postponing the wedding. She said they would cover all the lost money and would help us replan, etc. Apparently, his sister has said there's no way she can attend the wedding, and his mom knew how important it was to him to have her there, so she just wanted to offer an alternative plan. I'm not very sentimental, but my partner is. Our wedding was planned for the 10-year anniversary of when we met. That's something that meant a lot to him, which makes it mean a lot to me too. I'm trying to be sympathetic, but I'm just effing raging. I can't help it. My emotions aren't allowing me to be objective. Well, that sounds like a you problem, OP. Now, I mean, look, emotions, we all have them, but it's like we can't let our emotions dictate all of our actions all of the time.
Yeah.
I think this is a moment that requires more understanding than rage.
Agreed.
I know his mom came to him in good faith, but it makes me so angry to think about this being put on his shoulders a month before our wedding. He was so excited, and now I'm worried that if we don't reschedule, he's just going to be in his head the whole time, feeling guilty and unable to fully enjoy himself. I know his sister is hurting. I'm trying my absolute hardest not to piss off the family that is soon to be mine, one that's already mine in a lot of ways, but still I'm so mad. I'd appreciate some objective point of views. And there is an edit here. I think just being mad is okay,
right?
But just like be mad at the situation.
Yeah.
Don't be mad at sister or family or anyone. No one is doing this. It's like, it's just a really unfortunate situation.
Yeah.
Getting lots of she's and hers in and comments. I'm a man. Doesn't have much weight in the story. I just wanted to clear that up. Am I the a-hole has no consensus, but OP received mixed reactions. We have some comments here. Comment number 1, this sounds like something you should discuss with your partner, not random people on the internet, until you do or don't actually know how he feels. Whatever you decide together is the right decision for you as a couple. Just understand that there may be consequences with familial relationships depending on the choice you make. OP says, we have talked and he's torn. I'm trying to follow his lead because this impacts him more than me, but I'm just so frustrated. Never at him, but at them for putting him in this position by putting this weight on his shoulders. Planning has been a lot of work, but it's exciting because we know what's coming. Now we either have to do it for a second time, rebooking everything without the same excitement, or we have a wedding where no matter how good my partner feels, there will be guilt and sadness thrown in too. It's unfair. I'm half inclined to agree to cancel it all and elope, no distractions, just us. Commenter number 2 says, cancel. Get the money back from the in-laws, elope to somewhere fantastic, throw a massive first anniversary party. OP says, I'm open to this. I've always been indifferent to a big wedding. That's why I'm so focused on my husband's feelings throughout all of this. This is his baby. I just want to see him so happy. I'll talk to him about it, and as long as he's satisfied, I am. And I guess there is an a-hole part of me that's still frustrated with how long we spent planning only to have it thrown away, but that's something I'm trying to work on. Being flexible isn't always my strong suit. We have a downvoted commenter. Yeah, you're the a-hole. Do you have no empathy/sympathy? While I understand you have a wedding with a lot of expenses, this is a situation where you make the best of it, as it wasn't intentional. Harboring resentment over something like this is wild. OP says, of course I have sympathy for them. I hate that any of this happened. Her husband was a good man. It's not about the expenses. I'm frustrated because my priority, my partner, is being put in a real crappy position. I'm more mad at the world than at his family. I just know how much this means to him. Like, that's my guy, my other half. I hate knowing he has to make this decision. I hate that he's going to feel selfish and weird about going through with something he's put his time, effort, and heart into. It all effing stinks. Okay. You really didn't write that like you had. It was not written like you were mad at the world. It was written specifically actually like you were mad at the parents for bringing this up.
Right. And maybe that is true. I don't want to say that that's not how you feel.
It could have been the intent. The intent was to be mad at the world, but you wrote like you were mad at the parents.
Exactly.
But,
when you're asking for people's opinion on something like that, you want to give them all the context and all the details that you can.
All the deets.
About how you feel.
All the juicy little details.
Yeah.
OP on if his in-laws really like him. My soon-to-be mother-in-law and I are really close. There have been circumstances in my life that have made me really wary of parental figures, but I trust her completely. That's why I know she made the offer with good intentions. OP should consider on working things out with his fiance to figure out what steps to take and have grace for his sister-in-law and mother-in-law, especially his partner on the family tragedy. OP says, I appreciate the perspective. Taking care of my fiance feels like the easiest thing in the world. It always has. Taking care of other people doesn't quite come so naturally. For a large portion of my teens and early 20s, I was pretty isolated. Being by myself was something of a survival mechanism back then. And then I met him. I was like the human embodiment of a one human pet who loves one person and reluctantly puts up with everyone else. I've grown up a lot in the last decade I've known him. His family has been really good to me. But I think in times like these, when I'm scared and angry and sad, I go back to my one human stray cat mode, hoping that made even the tiniest semblance of sense. It did, at least to me. Not sure why all these animal analogies are coming out in my comments either. The point is, sometimes I'm not great at big picture. I can't imagine what it would be like in her shoes having to go on with the knowledge of so many memories. I'm not trying to be unempathetic at all. I'm just trying to juggle a lot right now. OP on his fiance making decisions regarding the wedding and how he's supporting him. OP says, my fiance is going to make a decision over the next coming days and I'm going to support whatever he chooses. This would be super nice though. I would love 2 weeks far, far away from everyone in the world besides him. Well, yeah, you might, but like he might be wanting to stay close to his family because they just went through like a massive loss.
Right.
And are probably going to want to lean on each other.
Right.
So I get it though. OP explains stray cat, one person mentality, bad at big picture.
Yeah.
But like that's another big picture thing where it's like you might not, you'd feel like it's right to go out of town for 2 weeks right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it did happen a month ago, but that's not a lot of time.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're like
with something like that,
if you're bad at big picture and you're like saying that means you're aware of it. So it's like you don't want to keep feeding into that if you know that this probably isn't the right time to be bad at big picture. You know what I mean? Like work against it if you know it's a problem.
I think the best bet is just like whatever your partner's thinking right now, just support that. You know?
Exactly.
Thank you for the kind comments. They mean a lot. I love him in a way I wish I could tell 15-year-old me about to give old me some hope. I would do any number of ridiculous things to make him happy. He's the kindest, sweetest person, gentle and warm. I learn so much from him. There's an update from 2.5 weeks later. I'm a married man.
Whoa.
So they did it. They went through with the wedding.
All right. Okay.
Or maybe they eloped. I don't know. Let's find out. I let my husband take the lead on making the decisions here and let him know I would support whatever he chooses. After some discussion, we decided to cancel the wedding and elope instead.
All right.
Secret wedding. My husband said he wouldn't feel right gathering all his family and our friends without his sister present, but it was still very important to him that we got married on the date we first met. It was perfect. It was exactly the right choice. It was quiet and intimate and us. There's nothing in the world I love more than seeing him smile, and he was stuck in perpetual smile mode.
Oh.
I was so worried if we had the wedding, I would look over and see him looking anything less than thrilled because it wasn't how he envisioned it without his sister there. I think the complete change in expectation made it easier for him to let go. Again, exactly the right choice. We're on cloud 9. In the lead up, there was a lot of calling vendors, friends, and family to let them know we were canceling. It was very short notice and we weren't rescheduling anything, so we lost all of our deposits. Our loved ones were really understanding of our decision, at least they were over the phone. We had very few people flying in, only 3 friends, and his mom agreed to cover their flights as well. Finally, to address my anger. Most of it was directed towards the universe, but I'll admit that I was mad at my mother-in-law. Discussions about our wedding and his sister's grief were ones we were already having. Still, a third party coming to him and making this request felt cruel in the moment. It felt like a guilt trip, like unnecessary pressure on my husband when he was already having to make these decisions anyway. We eventually made the choice we wanted to make, but he did tell me at one point he didn't want his mom to think he was heartless if we had the wedding without his sister. And by the way, we would never consider you heartless if you went and listened to full episodes with stories like this on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts, and wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search OK Storytime, and then you have 54 almost days worth of stories to listen to. We have a little bit more story here. Do you have anything to add, Angie?
I mean, I think that seems like a good way to deal with things. Listened to the fiance, now husband, right? And saw how he felt, saw, what he wanted to do, because that's really the most important thing, like we were saying before.
Yes.
And then they got eloped, and everyone's all happy now. Then you can have like another party for like an anniversary or something.
Yeah.
Or
big old 1 year anniversary, right?
Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
I think it was salvaged. I think
Exactly.
we salvaged the situation.
We worked
One
it
thing
out.
I do want to say,
Yeah.
not to put OP on blast, but I'm kind of doing that.
Go ahead.
I feel like OP needs to own their anger a little bit more. I think maybe some therapy or some counseling, whatever,
Interesting.
to work through and figure out what's going on there.
Yeah.
Because that post was really written like, and I understand in hindsight, you can be like, oh, I was probably more mad at the universe. But in that moment, you were directing all of that anger onto your in-laws, specifically your mother-in-law.
Yeah.
And it's like,
And then we're kind of like, no, I'm just mad at the universe.
her daughter's husband had just, she was trying to figure out.
Yeah.
She wasn't trying to be like, hey, you need to do this and this is now on you. It's more like, hey, we are now in a completely different situation than we were when we planned this wedding.
Yep.
So we got to figure out what's going to happen with your sister and if she can't come.
Yeah.
So can we move it or not? Like, what's going on?
Yeah. Gotta figure it out.
That is just a mom being a mom.
Right.
So I would address your anger.
Yeah.
Because
That's
it's a bit of an
interesting.
issue, or it could
I
be.
wouldn't have thought about that, but that's good. Good insight.
Let's finish this story.
Oh, yeah.
Emotions were running high for everyone. I don't think his mom would ever think he's heartless. I know no one was out to get us. His mom was doing her best to make the day comfortable for everyone, and navigating that is basically impossible. Still, I'm not sorry for my anger. Might want to work on that, and maybe that still makes me the a-hole, but I'll be the a-hole who loves his husband and puts him first in every situation. Might want to just do a little digging.
Listen
Get to the core of that anger, baby.
Yeah.
We have some more relevant comments here.
Congratulations to both and to a lifetime of happiness.
Don't know why I did that voice. OP says thank you, and also to all the other commenters sending congratulations. I feel so lucky. Peace was something that didn't exist for me for most of my life, particularly in my late teens and early 20s. Then he came along and changed everything.
Aww.
Commenter 2 says, does the family know yet? OP says, nope. We've been in a hotel suite having a little staycation all weekend, so neither of us have been on our phones much at all. My mind has just been on him. Commenter 3 says, not the a-hole. You put your husband first, made a kind choice, and handled it with love. Congrats on your marriage. I agree.
Oh, yeah.
I agree. And that is the end of that story. I don't think they're an a-hole for the anger. I just think it's something they should probably get to the bottom of. That's all.
Yeah. It's very easy to get a little lost with anger and anger management and all that. I refuse to attend any family wedding because they're always dramatic.
Yes, they are.
And this is from the OK Storytime subreddit. So, being that I live in China, I don't interact with my family too often and can only visit less than once a year. So, planning the 3-week trip to visit those living in the Midwest, USA, Florida, and Europe takes a lot of planning and money. Because of his wedding having a set date, I started the trip in the Midwest so I could be there to support my stepdad. By the way, this comes from One Done Millennial, and I was hoping it was you.
Yeah.
And if you want to spend your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. Last time I visited, I had been rather constrained on what I could do as I didn't have a car and depended on my stepdad to get around. Knowing he would be busy with wedding stuff and wanting a bit more freedom than last time, I decided to rent a car. Initially wanted to get one of the smallest, cheapest rentals I could get as I figured it would be mostly just me using it. However, my stepdad saw this as an opportunity to upgrade to an SUV so I could assist with transporting things to the wedding venue. I will say that I stayed with them, but my stepdad and Iggy insisted I stay in their basement. With only a bed and a half bath and a very large, empty, cold space, but trying to get a hotel would have upset them. Olivia and her boyfriend would get to stay in the very nice guest room on the 2nd floor. Messed up. For days leading up to the wedding, I met Iggy for the second time, living in China their whole relationship, and met her 2 teenage kids for the first time. I also met all the relatives coming in from out of state and overseas as they arrived, including my second time meeting Olivia, who still lives in England with her boyfriend. Olivia may have been my legal aunt for 25 years, but I barely know the woman. She got real comfortable real quick, though, and likes drinking wine a lot. She got real comfortable one night and started talking to me about some really not so great topics in front of me.
Oh, God.
I do my best to censor the topics with a younger kid in the room, but after about an hour, my stepdad pulls me aside to tell me not to talk about such topics in front of Nick. So Nick is someone's kid. I don't even bother trying to correct him that it was his sister bringing up the topics, because why would he believe me when he literally never has his entire life? So, hurt feelings, but moved on as is normal in our family, because trying to talk about it will just blow up in your face. After he's done scolding me, he casually drops that I need to drive Olivia and her boyfriend to the airport in the morning after the wedding.
Why is that?
The bachelor/bachelorette parties were mostly chill, I think, other than Becca crap talking Frida and Chad. We don't know who those people are, but
there's friends.
So the day before the wedding, we all start loading up all the cars with an F-ton of decorations, booze, and other things you need for a wedding, I guess. I still had some things to do before heading over to the venue, so after they loaded up my car, I took off and would meet them later. It was only when I got in my car that I realized they had loaded all the booze into my car in the front seat, and some of them were open. Yeah, I was a paranoid driver for the next 3 hours. Yeah, can't have open booze in a car while you're driving. So I finished my errands and stopped for lunch while trying to look up directions to the venue on my Chinese cell phone that likes to make it extremely difficult in the US. Can't make any phone calls and internet was iffy at best. Iggy had told me they would be leaving the house at about 10 and the venue was an hour and away. It was currently 11:30, so I figured I should probably head over to the venue. Remember the bottles of booze in my front seat? Yeah, they didn't tell me the last 20 minutes of the drive would be on gravel roads, so I had to drive one-handed to try to keep the bottles from banging around too much. When I finally got there, I started panicking that my phone took me to the wrong place because no one else is there. I managed to talk to a neighbor of the property and I was at the right place, pointing at a long house as the address I was looking for. So I go to the house and try to punch in the code my stepdad gave me for the doors, and it doesn't work on any of them. So again, freaking out as I can't call anyone.
Dang.
10 minutes later, Iggy arrived with Mia, Nick, and her sister. Turns out my stepdad gave me the code for the lodging I would be staying at, which was a 10-minute drive away. But this is where Iggy's kids would be staying with their grandma and Lee's girlfriend. It was a really cute long house divided in 3 hotel-like suites, 3 bathrooms, 3 bedrooms, and 2 pull-out beds. Really nice place. We all get started on setting up and decorating the venue, and it is 20 more minutes before others start trickling in to help. Eventually, there are a good number of people, but I was there from the start, all in boxes of drinks, moving tables and chairs, setting up games, folding napkins to look fancy, etc. I am a sweaty mess. I have been doing all of this for about 2 hours when my stepdad comes up to me very casually and says, I put an air mattress next to your car. You can set it up in your cabin to sleep on tonight.
What?
Dude, the accommodations that they're giving you are terrible.
Yes, but why?
First, we got a basement with like no shower, it seems. And then we got a blow-up mattress in a room.
Why are they doing this when they clearly are giving real accommodations to others?
Yeah, and you're doing a lot of work for them?
Right.
This is how I find out I won't even have a proper bed tonight. We finally finished setting up with not one of my siblings or Iggy's 3 adult children showing up to help. I'm tired and there are a few hours before family game night before the wedding, so I get to go see the cabin and set up my bed. Stepdad drives ahead of me to show me the way as my phone has 0 signal here. We are in the middle of nowhere, and if he hadn't been there, I might have screamed in frustration when I saw the dang thing, especially after the tour, but he's looking through it like, oh, this is nice, so cozy. Bruh. This cabin was the most redneck hunting cabin you ever did see. Just to note, the people that are expected to stay in this cabin are myself, Becca with her boyfriend and boyfriend's son, Chad with Frida and his son, David with Helen, and Ellie with her boyfriend.
Okay.
In case you didn't count, that was 11 people. In this cabin, there are 4 queen-size beds. How does my stepdad propose we sleep? Chad and Frida in the main bedroom with my nephew on the sofa, since it's closest to the bathroom. David and Helen share the room above the main room with Becca and her boyfriend, as there are 2 queens up there with another sofa for boyfriend's son. Ellie and her boyfriend will get the nook bed above the dining room that requires climbing a ladder to get up to it. And I move the dining room table and chairs to set up my air mattress in the middle of the dining room. If you didn't catch it, I only mentioned 1 bathroom because there was only 1 bathroom.
How long are we here for?
If you all thought this was the worst of it, buckle in. Turns out the air mattress was the most comfortable of the beds as they were so soft you were in the mattress instead of on the mattress. But it gets worse. Okay, so accidental win for you. This is a
Okay.
redneck cabin, so of course it has deer heads and other strange decorations everywhere. But it also has a tin roof under an acorn tree.
Oh God. Oh God.
No.
It's like little
gunshots.
grenades going off of the roof randomly. The wind blows. Everyone wakes up.
In case you have been privileged enough to never heard the sound of an acorn falling on a tin roof, it sounds like gunshots every 2 to 5 minutes the entire time we were there. At family game night, my siblings finally all show up and I get to meet Jack, Kevin, and Lee for the first time. I try to be friendly, but apparently I'm a weird old lady because after saying hi, it felt like they did their best to avoid me the rest of the wedding. Now, I have a capsicum?
Capsaicin.
Capsaicin?
Mhm.
What's that?
It's what makes spicy food hot.
Wow, capsaicin. I've never heard that word before.
And now you have.
Allergy, that means I cannot eat anything even remotely spicy, including black pepper, onions, garlic, cinnamon, etc. It sucks, but it keeps me from feeling ill 24/7 to avoid those foods. What have my stepdad and Iggy ordered for catering at family game night? If you guessed Mexican food, you get a star.
Well, you can eat chips.
You could eat some chips and guac under air mattress. I end up having to pick at some plain chips with lettuce, sour cream, and cheese because I can't eat anything else there. But at least I got to eat something because turns out they didn't order enough for everyone, and anyone a little late, like Ellie, could only pick at a few items left over. Turns out my stepdad had known they didn't order enough because he had warned my siblings not to be late or there might not be food. David and Helen didn't like that and ate before they came. Smart move. Yeah, I'm sorry, what? Don't come later, there might not be food? Order more food.
Yeah, it's like, what? How are we this bad at coordinating?
Skipping to everyone trying to sleep that night. With 11 people, it's chaos, and so it's obviously very difficult to put the 2 under 10 boys to bed on sofas with everything going on in the cabin. David and Helen are worried about how soft the beds are, while I'm worried about having to sleep under a deer head, so we decide to switch beds. No! But your bed was the best. We all sleep horribly, but find out in the morning that David and Helen have given up and went home at 3 a.m. Valid. Me. I don't know if it was Ellie or David, but someone had thrown a towel over the deer head so it would stop looking at them. In the morning, 9 of us are sleep deprived and trying to go for brunch before we attempt to get ready for a wedding with only 1 bathroom. I mean, hotel next time, hotel. It was at the brunch that I found out we were supposed to be in a cabin with a pool, so the others had brought swimsuits, but there was no pool. We got a text from Olivia about going over to their cabin for their pool party. All of us agreed that if our stepdad had told us, we would have given him money to find us a better place to stay, because apparently everyone else got really nice places to stay. Only Ellie decided to stay the second night in the cabin. The rest of us would be leaving. Ellie is maybe brave or foolish.
Yeah, I don't know.
David and Helen went over to the longhouse to get ready with Jack and Kevin, so we met them back at the venue. The wedding was fine, but Ellie was very not happy that all of Iggy's kids had reserved seats at the front, while we were told to sit wherever. This was made even worse when only Mia and Nick are mentioned in the wedding vows. Even Lee later voiced some disapproval at this. I think that was her final straw, and she only recently started talking again to her dad, my stepdad, a few weeks ago. After the ceremony, I told my stepdad I won't be able to drive Olivia and her boyfriend to the airport because I can't stay in the cabin another night or I won't be able to drive at all from sleep deprivation. Yeah. Good on you. He is very upset and says I'm really put in a bind with this, but I put my foot down this time as it is really not safe. Yeah, I mean, like, also just be like, well, you put me in a hellscape, so.
Yeah, it's like, well, maybe you shouldn't have booked us the worst possible place to stay.
The solution, they want me to sleep on the sofa in Olivia's cabin. Better than the acorns on the tin roof, I guess, but a sofa? The wedding continues for some time when Olivia comes up to me and tells me one of my stepdad's friends can drive them to the airport in the morning so I can go back to my stepdad's house and get a proper night's sleep in a real bed. It should probably also be noted that I am not fully over my jet lag as well. I mean, yeah, just freaking flew from China.
Yeah.
Remember, I only arrived from China just 5 days before. I go find the friend and thank him profusely. Other than Becca trying to get Chad and Frida to give her dog back, the one they had been taking care of for like 3 years at this point, and she had only had for like 6 months before she gave it to them.
Wow.
The rest of the wedding went about as well as could be expected in redneck, middle of nowhere, Midwestern USA. All my siblings were absolutely livid with my stepdad for weeks, with Ellie holding the longest grudge. I didn't really care at that point because to me, this was all just par for the course of how pretty much the entire family treats me anyways. I always bring back gifts and treat each family member to a meal whenever I visit, but I haven't received a single gift from any of my family members besides my dad in about 12 years. I can deal with them all much better since I live on the other side of the globe and only have to deal with their BS from time to time with an entire ocean, plus very large land masses on each side between us. I've always had to be the understanding one of the siblings, so I got a small amount of petty revenge by comforting each of my siblings and stepdad by trying to help them understand where the other was coming from. Like to my siblings, it was all about how my stepdad's original venue canceled on them 3 months before the wedding. So they had to put this together last minute and probably couldn't find a better place for us.
What?
Or maybe it was all our stepdad could afford while Iggy paid for the longhouse for her own kids.
3 months is not last minute.
No. To my stepdad, I just gently explained how the cabin was more than a little problematic. You can get closer to us if you listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search a Okay Storytime. Family get-togethers are nothing but drama, and weddings are extended family get-togethers, so the drama triples. From now on, no thank you to all weddings. I'm good. If I do have a future husband out there somewhere, we're doing what Chad and Heidi did, which is going to get a piece of paper at the courthouse. First time all 5 of us siblings were in a room together in 8 years, and I'm a little surprised that we all survived.
Here we go.
And that is the end of that story. Thank you,
Indeed.
Wanda Millennial, for sharing your story. And I hope that you get some sleep.
My family created chaos at my wedding. It turned into a nightmare I'll never forget.
Nightmare.
For context, I, now 35 female, am on the spectrum with both autism and ADHD, but went undiagnosed until 3 years ago. So at the time of my wedding, I was undiagnosed and living with a family who, to this day, does not understand. By the way, this comes from Wisdom Pancakes, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So for more context, I have an older sister, not on the spectrum, and while we were growing up, our parents promised us a wedding fund of $10,000 each that we could spend in any way on our weddings. However, if we wanted to elope or just not have a wedding, we would receive that $10,000 in a check. By the time both of my sister and I got married, she the year before me, my parents were divorced and financially quite different from each other. So, okay, now on to the actual wedding drama. It all kind of starts with my sister's wedding the year before mine. My sister and I have never been that close. She has always found me strange, weird, and quirky, pick your favorite word. So when she was putting together her list of bridesmaids, I had always assumed that I'd be on the list, but never imagined that she'd make me her maid of honor. Apparently, this was for appearance's sake, since she did not let me plan her bachelorette party, did not let me give a speech at the reception, I hate speaking publicly, so I didn't mind that, and kept me out of most of the wedding photos. My sister was a huge party person at the time and drank a lot, whereas I still don't drink booze today. I did everything that she asked me to do, which was very little, and kept my mouth shut about every opinion I had. She had her gigantic grand wedding in her big church with her alcohol-fueled reception to follow. She was incredibly happy, and I was happy for her. The next year, my boyfriend and I decided to get married since he was going into the military. We got engaged, he left for basic training and specialty training right after, and the wedding took place 2 weeks after he got home. A month after that, we left to live in Japan on an Air Force base. Given that my fiance was in another state and very busy, and right after he came back, we were to leave another country, neither of us wanted a wedding. It didn't make a ton of sense since we were already married on paper for the military paperwork. I wanted my $10,000 to throw a small party and leave. My dad offered up his half, and my mother did not. This is where every problem began. On top of not upholding the original agreement, she couldn't afford to anymore. Everything that she did pay for had to be approved by her. She did not approve of my plan to throw a small party and elope. She would only pay for anything relating to a wedding. This made me pretty upset, so I said to myself, I can do a wedding with $5,000. And since I was now having a wedding out of spite, I was spending all of her money first. I realized I sort of created a beast of an issue by doing this, but here goes the tea. She wouldn't let me buy the $300 wedding dress I found online and loved, made me go dress shopping with her and my sister and buy a dress that I was just fine with but didn't love like the first one. I had originally wanted something with color. Pale colors and white don't really look good on me since they blend in a bit with my beacons of Gondor skin tone. I tried to make my best friend my maid of honor since it made sense. My sister had since moved to another state with her husband and would only be in town for the actual wedding itself. She lost her mind at this, raving on and on about how I was her maid of honor and how she's my sister, so it's only right and fair. So, almost in mirror to how it went with her bachelorette party, my friend planned everything, and my sister was barely involved. She showed up in town the day before the wedding, her gift to me, and made it to the party. So her gift is just making it there the day before the wedding?
Thanks.
She brought a bunch of booze, knowing I don't drink, and brought one of her own friends without telling or asking me first. The two left early, thankfully, and my friends and I got to sit around and be happy and sad about the wedding and the fact that I was moving across the world in a month. So now for the wedding day. Things had happened on the groom's side. The best man forgot the wedding rings in his apartment 45 minutes away from the church.
You had one job.
You had one job.
How do you forget the most important thing?
Dude, that's crazy. And he didn't notice until an hour before the ceremony was supposed to start. The groom's entire family did not attend the wedding. His father is discriminatory towards me. I'm white and so is the groom's father, but his father married a Filipino woman when he was stationed in the Philippines and was determined for his son to marry a woman of a similar ethnicity. With a tight-fisted control over the entire rest of the family, none of them attended. In his sister's defense, she was 8 months pregnant and lived 3 hours away. She Skyped in for the ceremony. Things that happened on the bride's side. In my changing room, my best friend was doing my hair and getting it to stay flat. My mom kept going on about how I wasn't wearing any makeup. This is because I never wear makeup. She kept insisting that this being my wedding day, it was different, and I needed to look pretty for once.
Wow. Speechless.
Wow. Literally. My friend put a couple of fluffs of powder on my cheeks while frowning, turned to my mom and said, "There, does she look pretty now?" Now my friend was a good friend on this day. She went back to doing my hair as my sister stood at the back of the room, crowing on and on about her own wedding the year before. My other bridesmaid slammed a hairbrush on the table and says, "Well, thankfully this is her wedding today." And the room got quiet again. I had to sneak out after I got my dress on, so I could go sit on the stairs alone for a few minutes to cry. No makeup to ruin, though, thankfully. My dad caught me and asked me if I wanted to shut it all down. No questions asked. "Everyone's here. It's too late now," I said, but I was dumb. The ceremony went okay from what I can remember of it. It wasn't very long, and I didn't have very many people in attendance, probably less than 100. The reception is where it got worse. Remember how I wasn't allowed to give a speech at my sister's wedding, even though I was the maid of honor? My sister decided that that didn't apply both ways. She wrote a speech and didn't tell me. The best man gave his speech that I did know about. It was lovely, and he was very nervous. A bunch of shy nerds, we all were, but he did great. My sister took the microphone out of his hands and proceeded to basically roast me in front of our whole family and all of my friends. This is not a speech. That's a roast.
What's going on with I feel like your mom, your sister, why is everyone out for you?
Yeah, leave this woman alone. She just wants to get married, man. She made several references to how I wasn't normal, how all of this was so different from how she would have done things, and how my now husband was the only guy I've ever dated that she approved of or even liked. I stayed friends with a few of my exes, and they were all in the audience.
So she's roasting them too.
She's roasting them too. She's like, "I see one of the exes are here, and the reason I didn't like that one is because blah, 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 blah." Like,
and there's another one.
And
I hate
see
you.
that this person's here. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Crazy.
Dude. But she actually just had no idea that they were in the audience. Oh, whoa.
How do you...
Even worse.
So they're oblivious. I love that.
Even worse. So she's just going to like roast all these people, and then later they walk up to her and she's like, what? Who said that?
Hey, sister, like, you know, when Opie and I broke up, we were cool, right?
Right. She's probably just going to roast them to their face again. I wouldn't put it past her.
She's trying to put the spotlight on her.
Yeah.
That's all she wants is the spotlight.
She just wants the attention. We know who else wants the attention.
Us.
We want the attention from you.
Yes.
You just got to go to iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever your favorite podcast app is, because you know what?
What?
We have full episodes with more stories just like this one,
Hmm.
just go search OK Story Time. That's all you gotta do.
Pretty easy.
Please give us the attention. Please.
Please, 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 please,
Please. But there is a little bit more to the story. Should we just jump right in or do you have
Let's
some
just-
final thoughts?
No, I want to see how this turns out.
Me too.
I mean, we're already at wedding time.
Right?
It can't get
Already
any worse,
seeming like a
right?
disaster. Right?
Right?
Then, to top it off, we had not paid the absurd fee for having booze at our reception since my husband and I didn't drink. There would be an even bigger fee if we brought in any booze without signing that part of the contract. My sister knew this because she used the exact same venue for her reception the year before. She snuck in booze anyway and got wasted less than an hour into the reception. I shut the whole thing down inside of 2 hours. Hubby and I went back to our hotel room and I cried the whole
Oh,
night.
no.
It's so sad.
That sucks.
I guess the moral of the story, the very long story, is to just not have the wedding if you don't want to have the wedding. And that is the end of it. Oh my gosh.
No,
That
don't
was such
say
a
that.
sad ending.
No, you want to have the wedding,
Yeah.
but if Dakota were here, he would say secret wedding. Secret wedding. Because
Secret wedding.
at the end of the day, your wedding just needs to be you and your partner.
Yeah.
Sure, you need a couple witnesses too,
Right.
for legal fees.
For legal reasons.
legal things. But at the end of the day, it's just between you and your partner. You should
Yeah.
have just eloped. If you really knew it was going to be this huge fiasco, like this unfortunate fiasco,
Mhm.
I wouldn't go, put up with it, or I wouldn't have invited them. That's not fair. They're just very selfish, and I'm sorry that you had a crappy wedding.
Yeah.
There is a possibility that you guys, even though the wedding already happened and you guys are married, you guys can still celebrate in another fashion and do a small little thing.
That is just so sad.
The wedding you do deserve.
Man, I'm so sorry, OP. I'm so sorry that it didn't turn out well.
I would have a conversation with them and then go low contact, or not even a conversation, just tell them, like, hey,
Yeah.
what you guys did, especially to your sister, what you did was so selfish, and I don't care what you think, but you ruined my wedding.
Yeah,
you
and
ruined my day.
Definitely make sure that the sister pays for that alcohol fee.
Yeah,
For sure.
and let them know, like, hey, I am not happy with you. I think it's best we don't talk. I did this all for your wedding, and you didn't do anything in respect for mine. Not fair.
Not fair at all. But that is the end of that story. And the end of this episode. Would you look at that?
That's not fair to you guys, but the truth.
So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you.
And
see you tomorrow.